Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review, where it is Friday night. It is Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle United, live on the Toon Review. Full play-by-play commentary by myself, and we will be getting halftime views from, of course, Billy, maybe Alex, but definitely Billy. So we will see how that goes. Good evening, everybody. Lots of people already in the chat waiting to go, ready for this one. Really excited about this game. Newcastle United, there was some rumours, a lot of rumours before the match about injuries, etc. Those haven't quite come to fruition, apart from Miggy. It looks like Miggy Almiron is now going to miss, unfortunately, 3 weeks, which is absolutely heartbreaking and disappointing, really. The amount of injuries that we're getting, it's just, it is what it is. We've got to put up with it. I don't know what's going on with injuries. It really just heartbreaking sometimes that you get them. But anyway, as for the team, we are unchanged from last week. We go with Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno Longstaff, Willock, and the front three remains the same as last week with Jacob Murphy, Alan St-Maximin, and Alexander Isak. So big opportunity for Isak. Callum Wilson is on the bench despite the rumours that he has an illness. Well, I mean, he's even said he's had an illness. He hasn't trained at all, so he is in the squad. Harrison Ashby isn't. There was a few rumours going around that despite him being there tonight, thoughts were that he was going to be involved in the squad. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And it's a little disappointing for the kid, but I'm sure he will get his time. Brennan Johnson is fit. So Nottingham Forest, they look like that. Navas in goal. John Joe Shelby, of course, players. Gibbs White, Niakate, Johnson, Yates, Aurier, Dennis, Lodi, AU, and Felipe. So they have got a lineup, which is capable of winning, I guess. But when you talk about Newcastle United against Forest, we should be winning this game. I really do, despite the fact we don't have Miggy. The way that starting 11 played last week, I'm perfectly happy for this side to go and win the game. Can I just do a visual and audio check, guys? Can you let me know that I'm broadcasting okay on YouTube, because I'm only seeing one viewer. It's just telling me that one person is watching, and I'd be, heartbroken if that's the case. But judging by how many's in the chat, can you just let me know, guys, that everything is okay? Audio's fine and video's fine. All good, all good, all good. Great. That must be a YouTube problem, then. I don't know what's going on there. Telling me that only one person's watching. Apparently there's 427. Thanks very much, James. Hopefully that'll go up throughout the night. And also, obviously, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Come and be part of our community here on the Toon Review. We don't bite. We'd love to have you. So hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so, of course. And, of course, hit that like button as well, guys, because it really does help the channel. Thank you very much, everybody, for that. I know I'm broadcasting live, so that's what I needed to see. Thank you very much, guys. Marksman Gaming says, hope the Ben is okay. Every pound sent with lots of love, and hope she spends it on what she wants, even a 6-foot-tall, pink, fluffy unicorn. Not that I want to give her ideas, but bless her little brave heart. Yeah, she'll choose something. Don't you worry about that. Trolls, I did get your super chat as well, 100 krona. Thank you very, very much. Really do appreciate that. Obviously, a lot of people were in the chat before the show even started, guys. So thank you, everybody, for that. There's a new subscriber just ticked over as well. Trying to get towards 18,000, hopefully, on this stream, guys. We're, 210 away from 18,000. We keep growing. With your help, we'll get there much sooner rather than later, guys. Anyway, Would-be pharmacist, as Alex has eloquently expressed, no matter how much these players are paid, they are not robots. Some of these lads have a lot of miles on the chassis, and they are more susceptible to injuries. Yeah, I do agree with that. I'm certainly not listening to any of the rumours going around on social media regarding Callum Wilson at the minute. I think that is very unfair to do so. I really don't want to see that or read about it. I suppose what is going on with Callum will come out in the long run, which, it's hard to comment because there's so many rumours going around about Callum, and it's unfair for anybody to comment on his private life. We're talking about the football side of it. We're talking about, his injuries. What is this mysterious illness? A lot of people are starting to think that it is long COVID. I can't disagree, to be honest. I really can't disagree. But hey-ho. Cockeyed Cyclops, Salt Lake City, good evening to you. John's Backdoor, good evening. Barbara, nice to see you. Mary, nice to see you in the house as well. Dynamic says, won't be easy as some think tonight. Forest are tough at home. Yes, they are. But they do have a lot of players out. And you know what it's like. And you've got so many players injured and so many players starting the game. It is very, very difficult, to play as a team. It can go two ways, of course. It can go the other way where, you're expected all these changes and you're expecting not to do very well, yet suddenly, bang, you play well. But I'm expecting us to have a good game tonight, especially after the Wolves game. I'm looking forward to seeing Isak combine with Maxi again. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jacob Murphy can do. I'm looking for a big game from him as well. Daniel Brown, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, evening, Paul, 3-0 win tonight. Isak with 2, Murphy with the other. How are the lads? That would be absolutely wonderful, wouldn't it? Just to go into not just the weekend, but the international break with a victory. Another 3 points and keep that pressure on the top 4. Good morning from New Zealand. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you very much. We header, another one in New Zealand. Lots of viewers down under today. Thank you very much. Happy St. Patrick's Day. He is hoping for 3 points. Indeed. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all our Irish viewers. Line up, be right back. Okay. Thank you, Brian, for that. Not seeing the rumours about Wilson. I pay no attention to them anyway. Clouds, good evening to you. I like coffee. I'm watching the game, listening to the Toon Review commentary and working on my assignments for next week at the same time. Well, that's serious multitasking going on there, buddy. Really serious multitasking. Again, the normal rules apply for this watch-along, guys. People that have been with us for many moons watching these will know I have a separate stream. I don't watch it on Sky. So please, if you're watching the game with me, just pause it when it kicks off until I say, right, we're underway. Then you can hit play on yours and you'll be in sync with myself throughout the game. If you are ahead and something happens, please don't spoil it for anybody else, or the mods will remove you from the chat, basically. And we don't want to do that. We really don't. So everybody, just big family wanting to watch the game together and listen to the commentary. And of course, watch it on the TV, but knock the commentary off there and listen to me, because, well, Sky commentary. Shamrock says, good evening, Paul. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's do these tonight and put the pressure on the rest of the teams this weekend. Toon Gamer says, it's a shame we are back to a weak bench again, but should have enough to win 2-0. Gibbs White is a good player. Indeed, he is. Yeah, he is a very, very good player. Very dangerous. C-Stock says, good afternoon, Paul. Nice to see Target on the bench. Yeah, of course, he did make an appearance last week against Wolves. Rumours need to be taken with a pinch of salt, says Daniil. I totally agree, mate. You know what things are like. They spread like wildfire when there's no substance to them at all at the moment. And like I say, if we hear anything in the future, then fair enough, we'll talk about it. But it's not to be talked about right now. Isak will rip it up tonight. A hat-trick, says Johnny Ola. SC42, I'm worried about the injuries. I think we might only win 5-0. Listen, if we win 5-0, I think the whole of the Northeast, well, the Tyneside section of the Northeast, will be absolutely delighted and buzzing for the weekend and just celebrating being where we are. Ashley 80s, good evening to you. Foxy says, well said, Paul. Shocking some of our fans being chatty-patties about Wilson's personal life. No need at all. Daniel's asking where Miggy is. He's injured, and it looks like 3 weeks, Daniel. He will not be playing, which is very unfortunate. Picked up an injury in training, unfortunately for him. Isak injury earlier on. That would be just our luck. Clarky, stop being negative, man. No, it's not going to happen. He's going to bang in a hat-trick. Evening to Guy. Again, where's Miggy? He's injured. Sir Lemon says, watching from Rainy Dunstan, Isak 2 goals. Watch out. Yeah, I fancy Isak for a couple of goals tonight. Ollie says, buzzing how much we are on TV coverage this year. Well, I mean, we're talking, you know what? People like to slag us off, the media and everybody else like that. But it's amazing, isn't it? How many times we are now on TV because we are that much of an attraction across the world. So, you know, the TV companies are going to put us on. It's remarkable, really. Paul Toon Under, thank you very much for your $14.99 Australian dollars. He says, good morning from Australia, Paul. Is it too early for a pint? Good to see you again, mate, and looking forward to the great commentary. It is never too early for a pint, buddy. Get one in now. Prepare for the game with a nice, swift one. Brian, good evening. Fingers crossed for 3 points. Simon says, would love a win tonight, stretch away from Liverpool a bit and put a bit of pressure on them for once. Yeah, they'll be reeling from the Champions League exit as well, of course, but they're, the Premier League, I mean, they beat Man City, didn't they? And then they lost to Bournemouth. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Geordie Metal, thanks for your £20 super chat. Really appreciate it, buddy. He says, a hard-fought 2-1 win with an Isak double. I just hope we don't concede. Especially from somebody like John Joe from a free kick or something, Good evening, Paul. Let's get a win. Come on. Geordie Boy says, Paul, you broadcast to the world these days. Well done. Thanks, mate. Yeah, we do. We're all over, which is lovely to see. Good evening, Dr. Spoons. We are massive. Let's smash them, says Ian. Kevin says, international break has come at a good time to get Miggy and Gordon back fit. Yeah, it'll give them time. Certainly, they'll be going. Obviously, they'll go off to Dubai with the squad, get some warm weather, and well, they probably won't be training very much, but they'll get some warm weather. They'll get some physio over there, and hopefully it'll quicken up the recovery. But what we don't want to do is obviously rush them back too quickly. Lisa's all right, Paul. How's the little one keeping? Lily's fine. She's doing really well. Good news at the hospital yesterday. It's healing well. Slightly moved, the bone has, but it's not enough to cause any concern. So she's got to go back next week for another checkup and make sure that everything's still as it should be. KB, good evening, Paul. On this cracker St. Patrick's match night, come on the Toon. Marksman says, hope our fans give John Joe a cheer as he's been a great servant to us in both divisions. I think they will. I think they will. But when the game kicks off, I think they'll have a little bit of fun with him as well, which is, I think John Joe will expect that anyway. No all caps or spoilers again then, Paul. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kendo says, good lineup. Glad it's unchanged. Yeah, I am as well. Lisa's happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. Pedro says, funny how Almiron's got an ankle injury and not doing international football. I think he doesn't want to leave the Toon. Look, I mean, I think it was the Swiss manager yesterday came out or earlier today and said that Cher wasn't in the Swiss squad because he was injured. And of course, he's in the lineup tonight. He mentioned an ankle problem for Fabian Cher, the Swiss manager. So I'm not sure where he got that from. But he's playing. So there you go. Is Lingard injured? No, he's just useless. Keith says our attacking options off the bench are absolutely heffing. Hopefully Maxi and Murphy have good games. Joe says, come on, you mags. All we really have is Wilson and Anderson on the bench. Yes, let's not panic too much, though. Let's just, it could be a case where we're a few goals up in the second half and we can afford to bring quite a few of them on. Obviously, Richie, who has appeared in a few games lately, he's just sort of, he's come out of nowhere, hasn't he? Matt Ritchie to play again. So, yeah, let's just see how he does. Or the team does. We could be 2 or 3 up in this. Well, I'm wishing, aren't I? But let's just see how the game goes first. Bearded Monster says a win is crucial to stay in the top 4 hunt. Brighton, Brentford, and Liverpool all hovering. Would-be Farmer says, I had a dream. Toon won 7-0 and Isak scored 5. I'd settle for that, mate, to be honest. Absolutely. So Lemon says Isak 2 goals and Maxi 1. £1,500 return for Sir Lemon if that happens. Good luck with that. I'll have a bit of commission though. How long is the international break? Well, it's just a week. Obviously, it's 2 weeks technically, but we miss 1 week, one weekend of football. It's a pain in the arse. It really is. Kendo says, Miggy injured. Yeah, he's injured in training and will be out for about 3 weeks. Geordie Lad says 2-1 win tonight. Fingers crossed. Binlid says, watching from the Wirral. Trips to bang in a free kick tonight. He's due one. I do want to see us, with our set pieces be a lot better tonight. I think that needed to be addressed very quickly, and because they haven't been good enough. I know we scored against Wolves from one, but you look at the corners after that, and you look at the amount of times we put the ball in the box. I just want to see us convert a lot of these chances, especially the centre backs. Get the centre backs involved. We've got massive height in there for set pieces and corners, but for some reason, we never ever target the tall guys. Maybe that'll change tonight. Sean says, hi Paul and chat. I think 2-0 tonight. Lee says, watching the match rather than listen to you, Paul, with volume down. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. Malcolm, good morning, Paul. Looking forward to your commentary. Hope the little one is on the mend. She is, mate, definitely. She's a little trooper. In Eddie we trust, says Alex. Good evening to Jim. Ashley says, we get on TV because we have great support and the idiots want to see us lose. That's another way of looking at us as well. Jules wants a Murphy screamer from 40 yards straight into the post. Stu says, I wonder if Jimmy is over the pond singing the blatant racists. Probably. Brian says, if Shelby scores and celebrates, it will be like a dagger to the heart. Don't do it, John Joe. Look, he's got to be professional, hasn't he? It'll tear at his heartstrings. You saw how emotional he got when he came back on deadline day for the semi-final, second leg, of course. He got a great send-off, didn't he? He really did. He got a massively huge send-off, and I think that'll stay in his heart forever. He played for us for a long time, and went down into the championship with us. He stayed around. He didn't complain. Even when things didn't go well for him under Rafa, he still stuck at it. And under Eddie Howe, he became a bit of a monster, really. He, got himself really fit. And then this season, of course, getting injured against Benfica in pre-season literally knackered his season. And he wasn't able to get back. And then when he got fit again, he got injured. So really, really terrible for him. But it'll be hard for John Joe tonight. But he knows he has to be professional. Steve says, good day, Paul. I take it Murphy and Bruno will be the main two supplying passes to Isak. Well, Maxi as well. Don't forget, Steve. Maxi seems to have this thing going with Isak. It looks like they've been sort of doing a lot in training, which is exciting. It really is. So let's just see how that progresses. I'm expecting, like last week against Wolves, Maxi was head up straight away, looking for the runs of Isak and finding the runs of Isak as well. So let's hope we get that again. Could do with Karan Kowal on the bench for this. Maybe so. We are a little light. Connor says, good day, mate. My missus supports Forest and I'm a Newcastle supporter and she is giving it all. Well, hopefully we'll shut her up by half-time. So, yeah, she might not be so cocky at half-time or even full-time. Geordie, how are you, man? Hope you're well, buddy. Chipper says 3 points. Now else tonight, simple as. JP says, came home early from a bachelor's for this. I hope the Toon give me a proper reason. Yes. Jim says, oh, great. We've got a Manu and Knob commentator. Well, there you go. Knock it off. Just mute it and listen to me, Jim. You can watch the football on the TV, but just mute the commentary. We just need Harry Potter to cast a spell on John Joe. Alan says, hi, all from the USA. The bench looks like our starting team last year. Yeah, it does give you shivers a little bit, Malcolm. I'll definitely give you shivers. Clarky says, Isak's stats are well above Wilson from what Sky have just shown. I Like Coffee says, with Target on the bench, what role would Lewis and Dummett play? None. They're making up the numbers. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're making up the numbers. So, as much as I hate saying that because Dummett's been a hell of a servant to Newcastle United, that's what they're there for at the minute. Because, Target will be the next in at left back if something happens to Dan Burn. And then, obviously, if something happened to Target after that, then we'd probably look at Jamal Lewis. Let's not hope it gets to that stage, though. Angelica, good evening to you as well. Keith Oliver says they've actually got way better options off the bench. We really need our top players to put this to bed early. Ian says, come on, lads, give us a great weekend. Geordie lads saying the bookies are going 1-1. Interesting. I hope not, because I think, if we have aspirations of Champions League, these are the games we have to be winning. We have to put the pressure on Forest. I know they're down there. They are battling. They're battling for their lives. So it's very, very difficult going to a team who are fighting relegation. And we know all about that, don't we? So it is difficult. But we know all about that situation. Fighting relegation, etc. It's just I don't want to go through that ever again, if I'm quite honest with you, ever again. But we've got some good owners now where we don't have to worry about that kind of crap anymore, to be honest. Let's have a look. Right, another $14.99 Australian dollars from Paul Toon down under. We can really dominate this game looking at their lineup, hoping for a big score this morning. By the way, the pint has been poured 6:53 a.m. and the Toon down under on the beers. Nice one, matey. Nice one. Ashley 80s thinks a 7-0 win would be a wet dream. Well, yes, it would, but you never know. Football is a funny old game. Ash says, I got a new job as a daily fantasy sports writer for football or soccer for a USA company. Things looking up. Well done, Ash. Nice one. That's a fantastic job. Daniil says, need a set piece to be converted again today. Alistair says, hoping to give someone a roasting, but as long as we win, I'll be deliriously chuffed. Lee says, hope we get shots on the goal, not panicking. Well, what I want to see is more shots and not try and walk the ball into the back of the net. I think we've got a big opportunity tonight, guys. We have a huge opportunity to go at them and score some goals. Just score some goals. Shoot the ball. That's what we need to do. Serge Aurier, first booking. Put a $5 on it. That would be a good bet. Yeah. Anyone else notice we had 5 left backs on the bench? Yeah, we are down to the bare bones, unfortunately. Adam says, Trolls, you might be able to catch Murphy's shot from your house. Hey, let's not have a dig at Jacob Murphy here because he could be very important for us tonight. Massively important, in fact. Simon says, you couldn't ask for a better, more professional, more loyal player than Shelvey. Deserves a great reception from the Toon Army, which I think he will get. Daniil says, Maxi is developing a partnership with Isak. Hope we see more. Well, tonight's the night. Last match, I criticised Trippier for playing crap, and he went and assisted Isak not long after. I'm going to get this in early. Trippier is playing crap. Let's hope it works. Reverse psychology. I like it. Matt says, is Callback in the mix? Haven't seen their lineup. I think Callback's on the bench. Let's just take another look. Yes, he's on the bench. He will be on the bench for Nottingham Forest tonight. Yes, Elliot Anderson's on the bench. Johnson is their main threat, says Geordie lad. Yeah, he's a very, very good player, Brennan Johnson, and will cause us problems. That there is no doubt about. Thanks for that, Paul. Maxi training with Isak sounds great. Goals seem to beget goals. As soon as we get a goal, we go crazy. So one goal could cause a frenzy. Look, we're very good at holding leads. I will say that, so if we do go in front, we've got the defense to cope. It's been proven that many times this season. Harrison Ashby is there tonight, yes, but he's not on the bench. But it's good to see him being part and around the squad. He's a young kid. He's got a big future, apparently. So I'm sure we'll see him sooner rather than later, to be honest. JP says, thank you for your commentary, Paul. Much better than the rubbish on TV. Thank you. Without Miggy, we are fooked for goals. I wouldn't panic that much. There is goals in the team. There's absolutely goals in this team. We just need to convert the chances rather than just miss them. Ellie says, is this live stream showing the actual game? No, we're not allowed to, Ellie. Otherwise, we get into big problems. We can. It's play-by-play commentary, and that's we can't show the game. Unfortunately, it'd be brilliant if we could, but unfortunately, we can't. Otherwise, we get huge fines and ticked off for literally everything. Keith says, come on, lads. We got this one. 3 more points. Foxy says, Forest are strong at home. That I'd be fine with a draw. Of course, we want to win every game, but Forest with Brennan and Nyakade fit starting makes the game much more difficult. It does, but come on, I reckon we should be beating these guys. New Grady says, I think we will either batter them or it'll be close. I know it's bold, but yeah, typical Newcastle, to be honest, wouldn't it? Really would. Clarky says 18k by next week. Hopefully, mate. I'm hoping to get very, very close to it tonight. Although it still only tells me that one person is watching. I just have no idea what's happened with YouTube, because clearly there isn't. Lee says, we have a big fit striker, needs putting in the box loads. Yeah, get it in there. Just cause some problems. Even if, Isak doesn't get ahead on it, cause some problems, get some men in the box looking for rebounds or, second balls. Just get in there and do our best. That's all I ask, really. It's not difficult. Right. We are about to, I'm just going to get my stream up and ready and get ready for the match. Yeah, we've got a lot of fans singing at the minute. Nottingham Forest fans going mental here. But not kick off yet. But remember, just if you're kicking off before me, please just hit pause on your TV. And then I'll say, right, we're underway. And then just start your TV off and we'll all be in sync. We're ready to go, guys. We are ready to kick off. Caught me by surprise there. Because I saw the Forest fans singing around, but Forest are kicking the game off, shooting left to right. We are in the blue strips and we are underway at the City ground. Here we go. Forest immediately pump it long. Fabian Schär wins a header and it drops down to Bruno, plays it out to Murphy down the line. That's a good ball, looking for Isak, immediately sprinting after the ball, closing down. That's a good sign very, very early on. Isak looking very hungry there. Forest play the ball back to Navas, and he launches one up the field. And here is John Joe Shelvey now for Nottingham Forest. Plays a ball out to the right. It's cut out by Dan Burn, and that drifts out for a throw-in. That was pretty good, that by Dan Burn. He was alert to that ball that John Joe was playing. Of course, he'll be looking to slide those balls, through the channels and everything tonight. But again, Newcastle heavy pressing very early on. I've just seen who the referee is. Paul Tini, by the way, for those that didn't know. Jesus, Paul Tini, man. Jesus. Never mind. Anyway, Forest go long again. But that's going to go all the way back to Nick Pope, who hopefully has got that mistake out of his system last week. And we don't see anything else like that again tonight. Schär now to Trippier. Oh, lovely little nutmeg. That was fantastically done. Plays the ball into Bruno. Bruno again looking for the run of Murphy. Just couldn't control it on his left foot there. And I think there's a foul anyway. It's been brought back because Bruno was caught very late. I think by it was Shelvey. Shelvey clattering into Bruno there after he... well, I'll tell you what, there was no love lost there. Shelvey very late in on Bruno. But we've played a quick free kick, and it's Navas off his line very, very quickly to deny Alexander Isak. But a positive start, first 2 minutes of this game, I have to say. Trippier very alert there. I don't think Isak was quite as alert as Trippier was there to the pass, but it was good stuff. But clearly, John Joe wants to get stuck in on Bruno very quickly. Here is Bruno in the centre circle now. He's again caught late. Paul Tini says no. And then Schär blasts one forward, looking for Maxi on the left. Aurier clears for Forest. Johnson touches it back to Shelvey. Shelvey goes back to Johnson, but Longstaff is there. And now Sven Botman will roll it back to His Holiness Nick Pope. So, of course, that tackle by Shelvey will get the crowd going. It will, he will want to show Forest fans that he is in this 100% tonight for Nottingham Forest. As Fabian Schär brings it away. And again, terrible tackle coming in there. And that's an awful tackle. And already we've seen some awful tackles here. That's disgusting from Ayew. How is that? That's got to be a booking. That is a filthy tackle from behind. Nowhere near getting the ball. I mean, Ayew's pointing to the ball. Is that man stupid? That could have really hurt Fabian Schär there. And if he hasn't been booked for that, then what the hell is Paul Tini looking at? That's disgusting. It's a shocking tackle from behind. As Jamal Lascelles is sent out to warm up, he's clapping the Forest fans there. He's obviously getting a decent reception. That was a terrible tackle from behind. And I haven't seen if he's been booked yet, guys. I don't know. The TV hasn't showed anything yet. But it was a shocking tackle from behind. I've actually seen sendings off for that before. Look, I'm just looking at it again. He's nowhere near the ball. He follows through, and Fabian Schär's left ankle gets stuck between the legs of Ayew as he's following through on the tackle. It's a horrible one. And listen, remember what the Swiss manager said before. He wasn't in the Swiss side because he felt that he was told that Schär had an ankle injury. So if that's the same ankle, we're in trouble, guys. Shocking tackle. Shocking. I'm still waiting for confirmation to see if he's booked. I don't think he's booked Ayew at all. And if that's the case, that is absolutely dreadful refereeing. Of course, Fabian Schär limping off. He doesn't look good, guys. I mean, he's limping off. I think he will run it off, knowing Fabian. The guy's the Terminator, isn't he? He's a machine. But I don't think he's been booked. That's a disgrace. I don't care whether it's the first 5 minutes of the game. That is a disgusting tackle. Jesus. Anyway, Trippier takes the free kick long towards Sven Botman. He's out jump, but it comes to Maxi now on the left. First time against Serge Aurier. Johnson comes back to help out. Maxi gets a good cross in with the left foot, and diving at the feet of Isak is Navas. Nothing came from that. Navas looking for Brennan Johnson, who can't control the ball. And that goes out for a throw-in, which Dan Burn will take. Obviously, very much looking for Brennan Johnson's run there, Navas. A lot of people saying in the chat, definitely wasn't that bad, Paul. Calm down. Give us a break, man. It was a terrible tackle. Look at all the other chatters saying what a terrible tackle it was. Don't tell me to calm down. Here comes Trippier now. Long ball down the line to Murphy, who's found a bit of space. Murphy's ball in! Oh, it's just over the bar from Willock running onto it. And maybe Willock should have done a little bit better there, guys. That was a huge opportunity. Wonderful ball by Trippier. Murphy is well onside and found loads of space. Plays a delicious ball in. And, well, he had two Forest players sandwiching him there. Willock in on his left foot. Oh, he maybe should have done better, looking at that replay. And I think Willock knows he should have done better. But that is very positive stuff. Very positive. Great run again by Murphy, found by Trippier. Those are the kind of deliveries that we need into the box. And those are the kind of deliveries that we need to be converting. But it's very bright opening 6 minutes, this, for Newcastle. And that's an absolute sky. It's going to come down with snow on it. Nobody seems to know where the ball is. Isak beats Shelvey to it. Bruno now. Willock. Lovely little backflip, and then he's tripped over. And another free kick. And Newcastle are not happy here at these challenges going in. That's hurt Willock as well. These are not good tackles. Willock does him there, and he just gets kicked on the top of the foot. Stop pointing. The Forest players are all pointing at the ball again. He was nowhere near the ball. It's a shocking tackle again from Yates. Well, they've obviously been told to get out and there, be physical, which is exactly what they're doing, to our detriment, because, Willock's all right. He didn't need treatment. He'll run that off. But some very, very late tackles coming in from Forest early doors. We had Shelvey, Ayew, and now Yates, and still no card from the referee, which is bizarre. But Trippier's going to take this free kick now. Can we find a better one? Very important that we do well with these free kicks. I mean, it's very central, this. Trippier floated it. There's nobody there. That's an awful free kick, to be honest. He flicked it into the middle of the box, but nobody ran onto it. And it's safely back in Navas's hands for Forest. Again, they want to play out. But again, looking at John Joe, he's sort of in that quarterback role that he was very, very familiar playing for us. Just sitting in front of the back four and, using him to ping the crosses and the crossfield balls. Now, Aurier for Forest. He's got Yates inside and back to Aurier. Good pressing again from Joe Willock. And then, unfortunately, Willock can't keep the ball in play. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on off the pitch there from Willock and Yates. I think Willock is not very happy about that earlier tackle anyway. Teeny's got to get a grip on this game very, very early doors because obviously, I mean, Yates just tried to yank Willock out of the way there. I don't like this from Forest, I have to say, but obviously, you know, they're fighting relegation. They're going to do all they can to rough us up. There's no doubt about that. Bruno now into Longstaff. Bit of space inside the Forest half here. He goes wide to Maxi. Maxi saw Aurier coming, kind of left the ball, and then it's gone out for a Forest throw. But there's a lot of late stuff going in here in the first 10 minutes, which I'm not liking, I have to say. I mean, you know, I'm all for teams being physical and putting pressure on and things like that, but to be honest, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. And now Botman is struggling. Well, I think his boots come off there. He got caught. I think it was Ayew that stood on the back of his foot. And now Cher just, he can't obviously give it to Botman because Botman's had to take his boot off, but he's up again. Right-footed ball, looking for Murphy. That's going to drop nicely for Kieran Trippier now. Trippier with a bit of space. Knocks it up to Murphy. Murphy can't hang on to the ball, but we win a throw-in. Forest tactics are very clear here, guys. They're going in for it. They're going in for every single challenge, whether they're late or not, by the looks of things. Isak touches it back now for Murphy. Murphy, again, challenge, but does well to escape the challenge and give it to Willock. Willock goes outside now to Maxi. Maxi's got Byrne overlapping, which I never thought I'd say. Brilliant from Byrne. Gets it back to Maxi. There's the cross. It was looking for Isak, but it was well cleared. It's come out to Trippier now on the right-hand side. He's got Murphy in support. Murphy now looking for Bruno. Here is Bruno. He's tripped again by Shelvey, and that is a free kick again. And wow, Bruno stayed down. I don't think Bruno's hurt, but I mean, he's nowhere near the ball, Shelvey. He kicks Bruno's ankle. It's a terrible tackle again. Oh, dear me. I tell you what, guys, these are awful tackles. Taney hasn't booked a play yet. And that I can't understand because there's been some rotten tackles in the opening 10 minutes. Really rotten tackles. But it's obviously what Forest's plans are. They're planning to rough us up. I just hope that we keep our discipline. Don't bite to this. But this is a good position for Kieran Trippier. I'm trying to see who the other guy over the ball is. It's Sven Botman, which I find a little bit strange. Get in the box, Sven. I think he was trying to fool everybody that it was going to be a left-footed clubhouse from the Dutch international. Of course, called up to the Dutch squad today, which is fantastic news for our Rolls-Royce. And of course, 2 Spaniards called up today, 2 former players. You can guess who they are. Trippier now with a free kick, plays it low. It's a brilliant move, and it's off the crossbar. Oh, Isak beat the keeper. It was deflected onto the bar by, I'm trying to see who it was. It was a Forest defender, and it hits the crossbar. Wow. Unbelievable. And again, brilliant move. Great threat from Newcastle again. Now Isak again on this right-hand side. Lays it off to Jacob Murphy. Murphy now pulls it back to Maxi. He's got a bit of space. It was an awful touch from Maxi, and Shelvey nipped in, but the Forest give the ball away again. Bruno out to Murphy. Murphy. Oh, Maxi was hanging on the end of the box there. Great tackle from Cher, but he's adjudged to have fouled Ayew, who goes down screaming at the referee. Yeah, you got a cheek. Lovely move that. Isak, Navas was beaten. Oh, it wasn't even a clearance. It just deflected. It deflected off his knee. I think it was trying to see who the Forest player was there. But it deflected off his knee. It had beaten Navas. It took about 3 deflections, hit his knee, and hits the underside of the bar. But instead of going in, of course, it bounces clear. Yes, Marino is one of the players that was called up, and Hosselu was the other one, of course. So, yeah, their careers have gone much better as Navas just kicks it straight out of play. Steve Cooper's not very happy. He was trying to look for Aurier then, just kicked it straight out of play. But very positive this from Newcastle. First 15 minutes of this game, I have to say. Really, really positive. Here's Botman for Newcastle now. Lays it to Joe Willock. Forest haven't offered anything yet, to be honest, in this first half. Good work again by Willock. Plays it inside to Bruno. Bruno, first time back to Fabian Schär. Schär just does one on Andre, or whichever IU it is. I don't really care. Trippier now on the right-hand side for Newcastle. Plays it back inside to Sven Botman. Botman brings it forward for Newcastle. Lays it into Sean Longstaff. Longstaff, nice ball out wide to Kieran Trippier. Good passing by Newcastle. Knocking it around very nice. Bruno's got Longstaff, and he's in acres of space here. Longstaff thunders a ball into the feet of Isak. He controls it brilliantly, but he had 3 Forest players on him and couldn't get a shot in. That's good play. Now Forest break. It's their first real break of the game here. Brennan Johnson can't get past Big Dan Burn, and that's wonderful defending by the big man. Maxi now. Oh, turned Dory inside out there. Lovely little ball into Joe Willock. Willock gets rid of Yates easily again, and it's a good ball out to Jacob Murphy. He rolls it down the line to Bruno. Shelvey comes across. Bruno just guides him away from the ball. Trippier's cross in, headed away by the Forest defender. This is great pressure by Newcastle United here. Murphy on the ball now. Murphy just sizing the pass up. It deflects to Bruno. Bruno out to Trippier. Back into Bruno now. Bruno, lots of time and space here. Shelvey comes out to meet him. Bruno skipping across the edge of the box to Isak. Turns really well. He's brought down. Referee says no. What a bell end you are, referee. And now Forest break again. Gibbs White trying to get away, but he can't. It's a wonderful tackle by Botman. And Newcastle United straight back on the attack again. On the right-hand side now is Joe Willock. Willock inside to Bruno. Bruno now, he's got Willock and Murphy out there. He is Murphy. He's got Bruno again in support. Bruno looking for some space, goes down. No penalty, says Paul Tierney. It was a risky tackle, and then he gives a free kick to Forest. We'll see that again, of course. Nothing in that for me. It was clumsy, if anything, but I think Bruno, he felt the arm from Dennis on his back, and he went down. I don't think there's much of a push there, to be honest. But great, Newcastle knocking the ball around brilliantly in the Forest half in this first 15 minutes. They've been by far the better side. Excellent to watch again. We've hit the bar. It's been very, very close. Coys1234, bye-bye. You'll be sent out of the stream by the mods. Enjoy your night, my friend. Fabian Schär belts it into the crowd. Good clearance from the big man. Of course, Paul Tierney. Well, we all know what he's like, don't we? Shelvey now for Forest. But you know what? Forest are having to defend an awful lot in the first part of this game. And, it's all about converting chances here. We just need to put one in the back of the net. And I think Forest will go to pieces. Bruno just shoving away Shelvey's challenge. It's clear that Shelvey has been told to stick quite close to Bruno. And again, a late tackle. But he probably won the ball there because Isak didn't really complain. IU now going against Fabian Schär. He's forced very wide. Forest trying to build up their first attack of the game. Knocking it around. Shelvey in support here, but it's knocked back to Shelvey. Shelvey, again, he'll look forward. He never looks back, really, John Joe. Long ball out to Aurier on the right-hand side. Aurier taps it past Maxi. Willock comes out to meet him. Good, strong challenge by Bruno. Longstaff can't control it. And play goes on. There was a trip by Longstaff, but Brennan Johnson's got into the box here. Shoots on his left, and did it take a deflection because Nick Pope slightly had to adjust his body. Rolls it very quickly out to Maxi, who's got 4 Forest players around him. Maxi plays a lovely ball up to Isak. Can Isak keep this in? He can, and plays a brilliant ball down the line to Willock. Willock now at the other end, trying to dribble into the penalty area. It's good defending. And, well, they'll give a free kick to Forest by the looks of things. A foul by Joe Willock. I don't think it was, to be honest, but Paul Tierney says it wasn't. Who are we to complain? Lovely work by Isak. Sends Willock away. I'm just seeing if this is any sort of... Well, that's not a foul in my eyes. But Willock's having a hell of a tussle with Yates early on in this game. There's no doubt about that. But it's good to watch. Forest tried there, but again, we pressured them, and nothing came of it. Brennan Johnson hit a shot, which I think got a slight deflection there, judging by the way Nick Pope just had to move slightly. But it was never going to beat the big man. And here's IU for Forest now, nodding it down to Gibbs White. Gibbs White has Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side. Johnson now inside to Gibbs-White, back to Serge Aurier. Aurier inside now to Yates. Yates back to Aurier. This is a good build-up by Nottingham Forest, but again, we're pressing them back. We're forcing them back. Shelvey for Forest now. Cuts inside, plays a long ball over the top, looking for Brennan Johnson. But Dan Burn just hammers it into the crowd, and it's a throw-in to Forest right down by the corner flag. But again, Dan Burn sticking very, very closely there to Brennan Johnson, which was nice to see. He's certainly not been, well, he hasn't really been tested yet in this first half, Dan Burn, to be honest. But you know, it's a positive start by Newcastle. I can't see anything else bar that, and we should be winning this game. But here's Serge Aurier now with a crossing from the right. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful, and that's behind for a goal kick, which the Newcastle fans pretty much make sure that Serge Aurier knows what an awful ball that was. Fahad, thank you for 729. V scored 20-plus goals and Miggy scored 11. Big miss today. Yes, he is. Massive miss, but you know what? Injuries happen. Got to say, from all the watch-alongs I've seen, yours is the best commentary I've come across tonight on the tiles. Who's a West Ham fan? Thank you very much. Really, really do appreciate that. That's very kind. The Clone Lad says Paul Tini is a complete joke of a referee. Yeah, he's had a dreadful first 20 minutes, to be honest. How the hell he didn't book IU, I will never know. John Joe's had 2 pretty rough tackles, never been booked. I don't think even spoken to be fair. Anyway, Trippier's on the ball now, bursting into the Forest half. He's got options to his right. Oh, he tried to thread a ball through for Jacob Murphy. Didn't quite happen, but he wins the ball back really well, Trippier. Now, Longstaff, nice ball down the line to Jacob Murphy. Murphy's got 2 Forest players to deal with, but he goes for the byline, Jacob Murphy, and he gets there, and he wins a corner. That's great football from Jacob Murphy. Really positive again, taking on his man, wanting to get to the byline to get a cross in. And, you know, if he doesn't get the cross in, get a corner at best, and that's exactly what he did. Brilliant stuff from Jacob Murphy. 20 minutes gone at the City ground, still goalless, but Newcastle by far and away the better team here. No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt. Now, what are the corners going to be like is the big question, because we've got some big men up there. I'd love to see Botman get on the end of one and fire it into the onion bag, but we'll see. Here it comes. Trippier's ball in. There was a huge scramble in the 6-yard box. Trippier's got to be quick here. He was caught late, and the referee does give a free kick to Newcastle. The Forest players aren't happy. I think Tini's going to book him here, which I find bizarre because he hasn't booked anyone in this game or even spoke to them for the late tackles. I think it's Yates again. No, it might be Gibbs-White, actually. He is going to book somebody. And the Forest players are incensed by that decision by the referee. But certainly the way Trippier went down, he was caught. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving starting to happen here. Tempers are starting to flare. Shelvey's coming to push everyone away. And he is going to book. I'm still trying to see who he's going to book. There's so many players crowding around each other here. I don't think he didn't look like he was going to blow for the foul. It is Yates, actually, who, of course, made that awful tackle on Willock earlier in the game. And he is booked. Just seeing a replay here. Oh, God. It's actually in whatever his name is. Inquendio. Oh, no, it was Dennis. His paws were up. His paws. I can hear the cat meowing. His paws. His feet were up, and he definitely caught Trippier. I don't know whether Dennis was actually first to the ball there. But it isn't. It's a free kick to Newcastle United, and we have an opportunity now to get the ball in the box again. But we've got to make sure that these free kicks start hitting the target here. Because if we don't, again, we're going to have wasted opportunities, which we really don't want. But over the ball at the moment is Jacob Murphy and Trippier. I would imagine this is going to be Trippier to take it again, judging by how many times he tells Murphy to get out of the area. But that one definitely stung Kieran Trippier. It is going to be Trips to take the free kick. Murphy's just hanging back a little bit with Willock, just in case of a Forest break. But again, the big men are up for Newcastle. Can we make anything of this one? And it comes from Trippier. He goes really to the back post. There was nobody there, really. It comes to Maxi, though, on the edge of the box. He's doing his little Michael Jackson stuff. Plays it out wide to Bruno. Bruno is going to get a cross in. It's bouncing around and cleared again by Forest as far as Joe Willock. Willock back on the halfway line now. Just waits to see who's available, gives it to Sven Botman. Botman again will take his time. Finds Maxi on the left-hand side. Maxi now plays a ball down the line for Isak. It's a bit short of pace, but Isak does very well against Aurier, who slipped. He's a liability, I'm telling you, Serge Aurier. He is Isak. He's given it away. He had about 4 Forest players around him, and he gives it straight to Gibbs White, who then kicks it out of play, but it's deflected off Sean Longstaff for a throw into Forest. I just thought maybe Isak tried to do a little bit too much there. And by the time he turned to lay the ball back, it was the opportunity was gone. But it happens. Bearded Monster says, shows how the ref is deluded. The Dennis tackle is the softest of their fouls, yet gets a card. Well, that's what I don't understand. I mean, IU's tackle was awful. It was genuinely awful. Tackle from behind, which we know is dangerous, and he didn't even get a speaking to. Yet that one there, I mean, Dennis hasn't made any fouls in the game, and it was his first one, and it was just... But then Paul Tini is a terrible referee. We know that. Murphy wins a good header. Isak tries to flick it on for Willock, but he's overhit that, and it's back with Navas now. So still 0-0 at the City Ground, coming up to 25 minutes gone in the game. Newcastle by far the better side so far, but it's still a 0 against the name. We've hit the bar, deflected shot off the bar. We've looked very good. Willock had a great opportunity very early on, but unfortunately couldn't put the ball on target. But it's been positive. Forest haven't pressed us like I thought they would. I thought they would come out with fire in the bellies and really go at us early doors, but they really haven't. We've controlled the game. Long ball from Shelby. Botman. Oh, it's a terrible back pass. And we're in trouble here. And Forest take the lead. It's an awful mistake from Sven Botman. And Dennis has scored for Nottingham Forest. It is just an awful mistake. It was a terrible, terrible underhit back pass. And Nottingham Forest take the lead in a game which we have controlled from the kickoff. Oh my God. I mean, it's a nothing ball. Shelby over the top. Botman's controlling it, but it's a terrible, terrible back pass. And it's a brilliant finish, to be honest, by Dennis, because he still had work to do. It just totally underhit back pass. But Dennis, he had Botman and Pope to beat and chip Kieran Trippier as well. He did it all, and it's in the back of the net. And horrible, horrible. And again, we shoot ourselves in the foot after a brilliant start of the game where we are controlling it. Every aspect of the game we're controlling, and we go and stick a knife in our back like that and concede a stupid goal. I mean, knock me out with a bull's testicle. Seriously. Really, really poor goal to concede. It's that lack of concentration that we talk about when we're dominating the game. Just that one little bit of concentration lapse, and we bollocks ourselves up again. Trippier goes down, then gives a free kick away. And I think Trippier felt he was fouled there. Dennis has gone down crying. But these mistakes, man. These mistakes. And yes, it's just one mistake, but it's one mistake that has cost us. And that has happened time and time and time again. It's a beautiful finish by Dennis. I take nothing away from him. He had a lot of work to do to still put that in the back of the net. But he did. Any spoilers, guys, you get chucked out. It's simple as that. I'm not warning anybody again. The mods will chuck you out. If they see you putting a spoiler in, they'll chuck you out the chat. Simple as that. You have been warned, guys. Don't spoil it for others. And the Forest crowd are obviously well up for it now. It's just a shithouse goal. It really is. And now Forest tails will be up. Shelby plays it wide for Aurier. Aurier on the right-hand side now. Maxi coming back to help out. It's into Brennan Johnson now, who goes against Dan Byrne. Johnson, who was scheduled to miss this game, but somehow is fit. Aurier crosses in on his left foot, right to the back post. Dennis tried to get there. There's a battle in the corner. Trippier, that might be a corner, that. It is indeed. And, yeah, we're just looking a bit edgy now again. Damn it! It's really frustrating, guys. It really is, because this shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. We controlled 25 minutes of this game, having opportunities, passing it around brilliantly. And then, to be fair, we balls up ourselves. Dennis with a fabulous chip, though. I mean, I'm taking nothing away from the finish here, but he shouldn't have been allowed to be there in the first place. It was an awful back pass from Botman, and we got punished for it. But you can't do that in the Premier League. You will get punished. Corner to Forest. They played short. In it comes. It's fizzed in. Headed away well by Isak, who immediately sprints after the ball with him and Maxi going after. Isak bursting after it. Long ball again from Forest. Bouncing around. Cleared away by Sean Longstaff. This is going back to the goalkeeper. I think Isak's done about 300-metre sprints in the last 60 seconds there. Incredible. Burn with a header for Newcastle. Drops for Shelvey. Here come Forest again. Good tackle by Trippier. Bruno now. He's got Shelvey all over him, but he manages to wriggle free. Then Shelvey goes in again. 3 times, referee. Get your card out, you prick. How many times? And again, the Forest players going at the referee saying that, you know, he's calling Shelvey over here. Now, that's 3 bad tackles by Shelvey. It's got to be a card. I mean, Bruno did really well here because he spun free. It's a horrible tackle again. He just swings his right foot. He's nowhere near the ball. It's a yellow card. I'm still trying to see if he's been booked or just spoken to. Nothing's come up that he's been booked, guys, so I don't know. If he hasn't been booked for that, that's a disgrace. Anyway, free kick's been taken and Forest win a free kick on the edge of the box. Judged foul by Dan Burn. And, well, Yates is going to milk this for as much as he can. Disgraceful refereeing. Absolutely shocking refereeing. George has spilt his glass of wine when that went in. Well, if I had wine, I'd chuck it at the bloody telly, mate. I mean, I can't understand how the hell Shelvey hasn't been booked. And I will rabbit on about it because it's bad refereeing. He's booked Dennis for a nothing challenge. Yet Shelvey's gone in horrendously 3 times now, not won the ball any time, and hasn't even been booked. He's definitely trying to take Bruno out. There's no doubt about it. He's targeting Bruno Shelvey. He's been told to do that. There's no doubt in my mind. Long ball again, headed away by Sven Botman. Here's Serge Aurier. Johnson playing, well, he's looking like he's going to take Dan Burn on, but then cuts inside. So I don't think Burn knows which way he's going to go, to be honest. But we've let Forest back into this game. That's the frustrating thing. Here they come again, looking for Johnson down the right. That is definitely where they're aiming. Johnson does brilliantly keep it in. And Forest win. That is never a throw-in. That's, again, absolutely disgraceful refereeing. I mean, Tierney's booked someone here. I'm not. Has he booked Dan Burn there? I mean, I'm not sure how this has gone to Forest myself. Oh, that's maybe why, because Burn cleared the ball, but it hit Brennan Johnson's right ankle, who was outside of the field. So that's why. But here come Forest here again. Chipped over towards Gibbs White. It's cleared away and belted into the sky by Sven Botman. And Maxi might be away here because it's a terrible touch by Aurier. But Maxi's touch is too heavy as well as he tried to drag it back. And Forest survive, and it's back with Navas. Navas now goes long again. It's won in the air by Dan Burn. It's going to drop out of play for a Forest throw just over the halfway line. This is getting frustrating now, to be honest. It really is. I mean, to be honest, Dan Burn, he didn't realise the ball had gone out there. He had to go at the referee. And, of course, Teeny, the first opportunity he gets to book a Newcastle player, bang, get in there. despite the fact we've had some kung fu style fecking tackling from Forest. It's been unbelievable. Here's Ayew for Forest to Dennis. Again, looking to the right-hand side. Shelvey now. He won't take very long to ping this in. There it is. What a ball that is to Yates. Then to Johnson. He thought Yates had made the run, but he hadn't. And the ball is back in the arms of Nick Pope. Ian A says he can cripple a player, but can't shout at the lino. It seems that way, Ian. It seems that way. Yeah, we saw exactly what Dan Burns said, Derek, definitely. But you know what? It's not right. The amount of awful tackles that I've seen go in this first half an hour or so has been just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Longstaff to Maxi. He's then tackled behind from Aurier and a free kick given again. Again, nothing done by Paul Tierney. Just lets them get on with it. Fahad, thank you for another 7.29, mate. That's very kind of you. Trippier tries to chip a ball in towards Murphy. Murphy does well. That's a handball. Anyway, the ref plays on. It's cut back. It's Sean Longstaff. It's deflected off the bar again and headed back to Navas. Unbelievable. How unlucky can you pigging get, man? Murphy does really well here because, he got rid of the Forest defender, pulls it back. Isak leaves it. It comes to Sean. It's deflected over the top of Navas. To be fair, it was a deflection that beat Navas because there was nothing really on the shot. And again, it hits the crossbar. 2 crossbars in the first half. Just so bloody unlucky. Bruno now back to Jacob Murphy. Can we get back on top of this game? Murphy wins a corner. That'll do. Providing we do something with the corners, of course, which we haven't done for, I can't remember the last time. Well, Leicester, wasn't it, when Joe Linton scored from the corner? But he's not around today. 10 minutes to half-time. Forest leading 1-0 after a goal from Dennis, after an awful back pass from Sven Botman, which he will be doing his very best now to cancel out and thump this header into the back of the net. Referee has been simply disgraceful. Here comes the corner from Trippier. That's better, but it's headed away. Again, Bernard Botman beaten in the box so easily. Longstaff again will try and cross it, but he's beaten to it. And Dennis goes on another run. I thought he was going to go down there to try and win a free kick and take the pressure off for us. To be fair to him, he didn't. Botman, it's headed back to Fabian. It's Jacob Murphy back there, actually. He finds Trippier. Trippier, lovely little first-time ball back into Jacob Murphy. Murphy to Fabian Schär. Schär looking for an out ball. He's got it from Trippier. Trippier now moving forward slowly over the halfway line. Rolls it into Sean Longstaff. Longstaff back to Trippier. Trippier now. Again, Forest playing deep, playing very, very disciplined, actually. They look very disciplined, but there is goals in this for Newcastle. Botman's hit a wonder ball out wide to Sean Longstaff, and Longstaff can't keep it in. Goose, I know you're a Nottingham Forest fan, matey, but please, you are welcome here by all means, but please don't put capitals. Okay? You're welcome here by all means. Cleared away by Forest. Well won by Bruno. Comes to Maxi now. Maxi's lost it again. It's one of them first half so far for Maxi, unfortunately. Just hasn't been able to get himself into the game. Aurier now for Forest. Plays it out wide to Ayew. Ayew just over the halfway line. Rolls it back to Serge Aurier. And Forest will go back again. Isak's putting pressure on, but there's not enough of it. Not enough of it from Newcastle all of a sudden. Botman plays it out wide to Murphy. Not the greatest ball, but Forest do really well. But then we get the ball back. Now Murphy down the right-hand side. He's got Trippier going along with him. Murphy, he can roll it into Bruno here. Bruno with an opportunity. Plays it back to Sean. A little skip. Oh, it's just not happening. He's played a wonderful ball into Murphy. He couldn't get the purchase on the shot because his first touch was rank. And it's played away by Forest. Wow. Again, opportunities. I'm telling you guys, there is goals in this for Newcastle. We just need to get a shot in, man. 2 off the bar already in this first half. We need to test Navas. He is Trippier now. He's got Bruno in support on the edge of the box. Bruno then makes a run forward into Murphy. Murphy into Longstaff. Man on. Longstaff cracks in a shot. and it's about 2 foot over the bar. Not a bad effort, to be fair. Not a bad effort at all, but over the bar. But again, good build-up play from Newcastle. And I'm wondering what's going on here, because Eddie Howe's chatting to Callum Wilson and Jason Tyndall. And then he's been sent to go and warm up. And I'm not sure whether Callum's just spotted something while he's been warming up that he's gone back and reported back to Eddie Howe, which would be interesting. But then Callum's gone back to warm up. So I don't know whether that's a sign that he's coming on. I don't know for the second half. But he's definitely warming up now. Tony says, just a heads up, your thumbnail does not say you're live, just says upcoming. Not sure if that's just for me. Well, that might explain why I don't have many viewers. I will check that at halftime. I don't understand that, because if people are watching me live on YouTube, I find that a little bit weird. But I will check that. Susan, if you're watching, can you check that for me, please? Just say what it says on the thumbnail. Apparently, it says a lot. It says the same for everybody. I'm wondering what's going on with YouTube tonight. Let me just have a little check here. There's nothing going on, by the way. The ball's with Nick Pope at the moment. I'll just have a look. See what it says for me. Yeah, it says upcoming. Why does it say that? It's strange, because if you click on it, I'm definitely live with over 1,000 watching. So I think it's a problem with YouTube, guys. There's definitely 1,000 watching on YouTube. So I know I'm live, but I don't know why that is. I think that's just a glitch with YouTube tonight, guys, because it's the thumbnail is right, because it's set at the right time. There's no problem with that at all. It just, for some reason, hasn't gone live, which is a bit strange. But I do apologize for that, but I can't help YouTube being absolute wallies sometimes. Last night's show was showing live today. Interesting. Problems with YouTube by the looks of things. Scheduled for the 17th, 7:33 p.m. 7:33? I don't know what it's playing at, but there you go. Not sure why that is. Anyway, the ball's in the middle of the park at them, and there's nothing much happening in the game. We've got 4 minutes to half time. Long ball played in. This is mild. Is Ayew on side here? He's took a very heavy touch. He's gone down under the... Well, he's looking for a penalty, and he's offside anyway. So get up, Ayew, you cheating get. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, guys, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it says upcoming. It says the same for me. I'm looking at it now, but I don't know why that hasn't gone live. I don't know whether it's StreamYard. StreamYard's telling me I've got a tick saying I'm live on YouTube, so it must be a YouTube error. I really do apologize, guys, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, here's Fabian Schär for Newcastle. In fact, it's Trippier for Newcastle. He's got Murphy wide of him. Goes inside to Fabian Schär. Schär's got Botman in support. Here is Sven Botman. Botman then goes down the line to Isak, sorry. Isak looking for Murphy. Lovely little touch. It looks like Maxi's gone more central here. And there's a clash of heads between Ayew and Bruno. I think they just ran into each other there. And I think we're going to see the physios on. Josh, the Arsenal fan, says it's a glitch. It happened to a few streamers yesterday. All right. Thanks for letting me know, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, people at YouTube must be on the lash for St. Paddy's Day, without a doubt. Yeah, that was a weird one, that. Bruno just running into Ayew. I don't think Ayew's got a cut, but Bruno's been told to go down. I'm not sure whether Bruno's got a little cut on his head. Very interesting, that chat, actually, with Callum Wilson before. I don't really know what's going on there. Again, we're looking at the goal. Botman just under-hit the pass. He really did. But I tell you what, Dennis still had a lot of work to do to put that ball in the back of the net. And he, you know, without taking anything away from him, it was a wonderful goal. Lovely chip. You know, he had to put a decent amount of height on it to clear Botman and Pope. Then he had to clear Trippier, who, you know, obviously not the tallest of guys, but it was a beautiful chip. Nothing Trippier could do about it. But it was horrible goal to concede. When you've done so well in a match as well, and when you're playing so well, it's so frustrating, man. It really is so frustrating. It's just one of them things, though. Shakuro, thank you very much for your 199 super chat. The ref is a Doylem. I 100% agree with you on that. Bruno is back on. Looks okay. As Navas again, a long ball looking for Aurier, but Dan Burn must have been about 10 foot in the air there to head that away. But Forest will want to keep things tight now till half time, as they're leading 1-0. Minute to go in normal time. There hasn't been a lot of stoppages, to be fair. Botman is all over the place. He's just headed the ball back there, put us under real pressure. Fabian Schär cleared that. I've never seen Botman shaky like this before. I mean, I know he's had a couple of iffy games, but he's looking really, really nervous tonight for some reason. Really nervous. Aurier. Gibbs White now for Forest. Little back heel to Johnson. Yates. Ayew in there as well, but we come away with a ball with Alexander Isak, and he's pushed a little bit there, and the referee is going to blow for a free kick. Forest don't like that, but there was definitely a push on Isak there. Botman gets on with it quickly, out to Fabian Schär. Schär now, as we're coming up to 45 minutes. We'll find out in a minute just how many minutes are added on. I would say only 1 or 2, to be honest. I don't think there's a great deal of additional time in this first half. Willock rolls it back to Botman. Botman out to Fabian Schär. Sophia says it's sickening considering Willock missed a sitter. Absolutely. Really poor. Jacob Murphy now for Newcastle. Maxi now on the right-hand side. What can he do? He's got 2 men. He did have 2 men on him. He's lost them. He's jinking about. Finds Murphy on the edge of the box. Murphy, he played a good ball into Longstaff there, and Longstaff just couldn't control it. I mean, Longstaff made a brilliant run there, was in a really, really good position. And then he just, I don't know why he didn't control that with his left foot. It was a great idea from Jacob Murphy, very poor. And I think Graham Jones is going ballistic. It looks like there's a very, very agitated bench there. Graham Jones and Eddie Howe. Jones was effing and blinding at something there. We've got 3 minutes of additional time, guys, in this first half. But that was interesting there because Graham Jones was going ballistic about something. Eddie Howe was shouting back at Graham Jones. It's getting very heated. Newcastle now coming forward. Murphy plays a lovely ball to Maxi. Maxi onto Joe Willock. Joe Willock into the box. Can he get a ball in? He can! Isak! It's 1-1! Brilliant finish from the Swede! And Newcastle United get the brilliant goal right at the end of the first half. That's better. That was a beautiful goal. I thought Isak had put it wide for a second, but what a ball from Willock and tapped into the net by the Swede. Brilliant finish. Give me a striker from Sweden, people. It's 1-1 at the City Ground. Lovely first-time cross from Willock, slightly behind Isak, actually. He did brilliantly there to put that in the net. And it's 1-1 at the City Ground. Brilliant finish by Isak, I have to say. Absolutely brilliant. Because he had work to do. It was behind him slightly. But my God, did he do it. My God, did he do it. It was like off his shin, really. But all he had to do was direct it towards the goal. It's exactly what he did. And that is such a good finish because he had to drag his foot behind him. And it's a brilliant goal. And we're level. Just what Forest did not want after, well, getting a very lucky goal, that's what we said. There is goals in this game, guys, I'm telling you. But a brilliant move. Absolutely brilliant move down the right-hand side involving Maxi, Willock. And the ball in was just splendicious. And it's 1-1. 10 seconds of additional time left in the first half. Long ball Share deals with that one. Longstaff back to Kieran Trippier. He pumps it forward. Referee says that's enough, guys. That'll be the first half over and done with. And it's finished. Well, it hasn't finished. The first half's finished. Newcastle United leveling right at the death of the first half through the Swede. The big Swede. 1-1. And just as we say that, in comes Billy Bob Trey. Good evening, Billy.
Good evening. Good evening.
Well, I mean, lots of talking points in that first half, Billy. I mean, we dominated the first 25.
Yeah.
Absolutely dominated. Some horrific tackles going in, unpunished.
Yeah.
And then
some horrific refereeing as well, let's be honest. Some horrific refereeing.
Dreadful. And then Botman switches off. Dreadful back pass. Wonderful chip from Dennis. It has to be said. Brilliant finish.
Yeah.
But then right at the death, and I mean, he took that goal really well there, Isak, because he had to, it was behind him, and then he had to adjust his body and just put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish and great move and great cross from Willock too. But it's nothing less than what we've deserved. We've been the better side for the vast majority of that first half. Some shocking refereeing, a shocking bit of play between Botman and Nick Pope. I blame Nick Pope for that as much as Botman. Nick Pope should have been shouting him to clear it. He can see the full picture. And then didn't get out quick enough. It was a bad mistake by Botman, but also Nick Pope's not absolved of any blame, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is, we never know in them situations, do we? Whether Nick Pope's shouting at him or not. Dennis.
But even so, he should have come out and took the ball. If he'd have took the ball and took the player at the same time, he could have, But yeah, it was a real poor goal to give away. Some of our forward play has been really good. We've been really lucky. The free kick that hit the, deflected onto the bar, and then the Longstaff shot that hit the bar. I just felt like it was going to be one of them nights, but then we've equalised at a real good time, and now we should go in and win the game, really.
Yeah. What did you make of that little thing on the bench there towards the end of the first half? Because Graham Jones was furious about something. He was effing and blinding, and Howe was shouting back at him, and I don't know what happened there, because Tyndall was just standing there saying looking very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there. It's hard to, at one point as well, he was telling Callum Wilson to warm, so whether he was going to go for a system change or not, I don't know. But I noticed that Maxi and Isak were swapping around a bit. Longstaff and Bruno swapped around a bit as well. So I'm not sure what's going on really. There's no solid system, is there? It's a lot of fluidity, which I like.
No. I mean, look, we switched off for 10 minutes in that game. We allowed Forest to score. They got the tails up, started to come back at us a little bit. Not really, didn't pressure us into anything. They didn't really look like they were going to get a second goal. But we've hit them right at the end of the first half, which is a perfect time for us to score, because their heads they'll be gutted about that, won't they?
Absolutely. I mean, they're undeservedly in the lead. They've got a bit of luck, and they're obviously going to defend that lead then to the end of the game, and it hasn't worked for them. Excuse me, that's my phone that I haven't put on silent, but never mind. And it hasn't worked for him, has it? And Murphy's been pretty good. I think Willock's been in and out of the game, but when he's been in it, he's been really good. Yeah. That Ryan Yates is a right shit house, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he is. He's a shit house. I mean, I want to see more from Maxi. I don't think we've seen enough from Maxi first half. He's lost the ball a couple of times, but interesting the conversation that Callum Wilson was having as well with Eddie Howe and Tyndall. I don't know whether I said during commentary, I didn't know whether Callum had spotted something while he was warming up and came back to the bench, or whether Eddie Howe sent him out to warm up. I don't know. But it was interesting. Before you answer that, Billy, £5 super chat for me and Fleming. Was getting a bit worried there. Thank God for Isak. So it was interesting. I don't know what the conversation was about.
No, I don't know if they were going to think about going to system change or what. I'm not sure. I'm not sure Murphy deserves to come off. I think he's been okay. ASM been very quiet at times, and Isak was quiet until the goal. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to go system change, because they do look dodgy at the back, and they've got a lot of men back. So now
Isak, to be fair, he's done a lot of running on that pitch in the first half, Billy. I mean, he'd done 300-meter sprints in under a minute, and it was. I'm just seeing the goal again now on my TV there. Look, brilliant. I thought at first he'd actually mishit the shot, but when you look at it slow motion, the ball was slightly behind him, and he did really well to get it on target, because that's all he could do, just try and get the ball on target with the ball being behind him.
It was a brilliant bit of improvisation from him, and that's what he's got in his locker. And they're just showing the goal again now. And yeah, Pope can see the full picture. Yeah, he should be screaming at him to clear it.
Interesting.
Doesn't get out quick enough. It's a really bad goal to go away. And they didn't deserve it. It's the first shot they had. I think it's the only shot they've had.
Well, exactly. I mean, yeah. Right, Billy, I'm just going to pop for a break. If you can go through some of the... I haven't gone through any of the comments, so if you want to start somewhere and go through some of the comments with the viewers, and I'll try and fix this YouTube problem. I don't know what's happened with it, but apparently there's a problem with YouTube. A couple of comments saying that... Yeah, I think their Facebook viewers... apparently we've got over 1,300 watching, but apparently this has happened yesterday with some streams as well on YouTube, but I'll have a check. But I'll be back shortly, mate.
Okay. We'll go from Keith Oliver's comment here. Max has two players sitting on him and not the player behind him like trips to manoeuvre the ball. Yeah, he looked more dangerous when Willock was over there with him, and the time that Dan Burn overlapped, he looked a bit more dangerous there. But yeah, he's been quiet in the main, and he's looking. What's good about it is he's floating around looking for the ball. So Botman is human, says M Leader. Yes, it was a bad mistake. Although, as I said earlier, I'm not sure that it's not just his fault. I think Nick Pope's got a bit of blame to have in it. Graham Jones seems to be having to go Eddie too. Well, yeah. If that's the case, it'll be interesting to see what happens afterwards, won't it? Everyone looked incredibly frustrated, like we all are. Yeah, we were frustrated. Frustrated with the refereeing. I mean, how Ryan Yates hasn't been booked yet, and Dan Burn has been for dissent. Beyond me. We've seen scissor tackles go unpunished. I think Shelby didn't get booked for his scissor tackle. We've seen was it Andre Ayew go on the ankle to Trippier. To me, it was a red card after about 3 minutes, but there you go. Yeah, the referee's been poor. I think not Storage been watching Cobra Kai, says James. They've been very dirty. Let's be honest, they've been very dirty. And in the end, football should come out on top, but let's hope so. Isaac better stay on. I think he has to. Bernard's played well. Excuse me. He's on a yellow card, though. I do think that maybe with a more attacking left back, we could get something out of him, but he's keeping Brennan Johnson very quiet, let's be honest. Brennan Johnson hasn't been a threat so far. The only threat they've had has been Dennis, and Dennis has obviously got the goal. Tom says Max is looking like a Sunday League player at the moment. He's not been the best today, let's be honest. Dan T says losers. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure whether he's a Forest fan, but obviously not. We're not losers because it's one each. Don't worry about Maxi. Alex will still give him the best rating. He says, I don't think so. He can't tonight. Brian wasn't panicking. We've got a super chat, and I think this is from my mate Eddie. It is Eddie over in Japan. A great commentary as always for Paul, and that's 1,000 yen. Thanks ever so much for that, Eddie. Very much appreciated, and a very generous contribution there. And not the first one you've done. Brilliant, mate. Thank you very much. Doug Hall says, I just hope Bruno makes it through the game the way he's being targeted. Yeah, he looked really... When he started playing in the 8, I thought he looked really bright. But him and Longstaff have swapped around a bit. And I think Longstaff has actually come into the game more as well. And I think Longstaff's playing pretty well, actually. Some of his passing has been really good, especially in attacking situations. What's this comment from David Kilpatrick? Maxi looks stiff, but he doesn't look wide, does he? I think you're right. Ian Skinner says, Yates should be booked at least, definitely, without a doubt. He's got away with murder this first half. He's one of these players that gets in your face, isn't he? And he has got away with a bit of murder. Keith says, I think you'll see Longstaff or Murphy come off. I'm not so sure at the minute. I think Isaac will come off after about 65, 70 minutes. And I think Wilson will come on for him. That's what I think will happen. I think he'll empty his tank like he did last week. Dan says Isaac scored a main goal. Fantastic finish. Murphy had a good game. He is. I think considering Renan Lodge is a Brazilian international, I think Murphy's done really well against him and has to beat him with him. Arturo says Murphy's good, better than Gordon. Could have bought better than the Scouser. Dougie says gets Maxi off. Is Botman still Rose voice? He's a bit in the main he was today, but he had a bit of a moment where he was a Lada Cossack, didn't he? Let's be honest. Derek Platten says standard ref in his play is good, but we always got the duffers. Yeah, seeing he's shite. He's an awful referee. V Vendetta says there's 1.3 watching the stream. Brilliant. Doesn't say that on StreamYard though, unfortunately. Adam says they should have had about 5 yellows. Utter joke. Ref was awful. Brilliant improvised well, says Dunhill about Isaac's goal. Yeah, more Maxi crap stuff. Mr. Wilson would have missed that shot. Definitely, probably would have even touched it, would he? In the current form he's in. Yeah. Mick says Longstaff's been anonymous. Well, he's hit the bar. He's 1-2 fantastic passes. I'm not sure you're watching the right game there, Mick, to be honest. Murphy playing well. Nice to have balls going in from the right. It is. We've got some good crosses in. And Dan says, and the Forest keeper's world class. That's even better. Well, he is. Navas is was a world-class goalkeeper. Yeah, Richie for Maxi. That's because the state of the subs bench is ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. It's awful. It's not even a championship. It's a championship bench, really. Let's be honest. Joustino Espria says very important goal to get on half time. Great time to score. Send the Forest heads down before half time. Steve Cooper's team chat has got to change because they've been next to nothing first half. We've been the better side, and Eddie Howe's team change will also change. I think he'll still bollock on mind. I do. I think it's time to switch on, and there's more goals for us. So we could get 2-3 more. I honestly believe that. Arturo says, Billy, you're effing legend. Thank you, Arturo. So are you, buddy. JPD, your commentary has been epic, Paul. Thank you. It always is. Paul's a top quality commentator. He speaks the game, talks the game brilliant. Keith, I thought we were going to have to get another frustrating game, hitting everything at the back of the net. But thank God for Isaac. Yeah, Keith, it was one that it looked like it was going to be one of them nights, didn't it? At one point, we kept hitting the bar in little deflections. It says you're offline, says Bath. Well, Newcastle will want to score. Says I don't know what that name is. I don't even know what language it is. But thanks for the comment anyway. Jerry says get ASM and put on Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon's injured, mate. He's not even in the squad. What's the score?
Well,
YouTube.
I don't know what's going on, Billy. It just says waiting. I've tried to refresh it. Everything. It's obviously a fault with YouTube. If other streamers have had the problem yesterday, we've got the same one today, unfortunately.
I've done the super chat anyway.
All right, okay. Where do you see the second half going then, Billy?
Well, I think that goal just before half-time changes the team talk. Steve Cooper would have been perfectly happy with it. Now he's not. They can't sit back on that. They've got to come at us again. And that's when we look the most dangerous. So, I think Eddie Howe will still bollock them. I think he's got a talent to keep switching on because they've been a couple of times they've been to sleep. Yeah, and I think we can go on and push them win the game. And I think he'll be telling them that. I mean, we're much the better side. Yeah, I definitely think so. But we just stop these little mistakes and just switching off concentration because, I'm sure Botman will find out in the future and things like that you get punished for even the slightest little thing. And yet we can look at Pope as well, but misunderstanding, miscommunication, whatever it may be, it is a little disappointing. Just getting the stats up here on the screen. 53% possession for Newcastle. We've had 6 shots, 1 on target, 187 passes to Forest 178, completed 146 of those. Forest have had 8 fouls, 1 yellow card. We've had 5 fouls with 1 yellow card. And of course, our yellow card wasn't for a foul either, was it? It was yeah. For the descent. Yeah. Guys, I know a lot of people are putting in the comments that, I'm on YouTube and I'm watching the fine. Yeah, it is. If you click on it, you'll be taken to the live stream. It just says upcoming for some reason, but obviously everybody's just pressed on it anyway and they're in the stream. I noticed that earlier, yeah. Yeah, but there was an Arsenal fan earlier on said that a lot of streamers were having the same problem yesterday, where they were actually live and it was shown as upcoming for some reason. But I'll message YouTube after the stream because obviously we want views and likes to count. You know what I mean? So it's I don't want anything to go wrong with that. But anyway, the players are back out, Billy. I will see you at full time, my friend. You certainly shall. Hopefully celebrating a victory. I'll see you soon, buddy. Ta-ra, mate. Good night. So there you go. That was Billy's thoughts on the first half. And we are going to get the second half underway very, very shortly. Newcastle United 1-1 with Forest at half-time after Isak's goal. I just want to see a bit more from Maxi in this second half, I have to say. Aurier is there for the taking. He really is. If you ask me, he's there for the taking. No doubt about it. We just need to get the ball to him. Sonny saying Anderson coming on for ASM apparently. We'll see. The players are yet to appear for me. But again, if your second half kicks off before me, please just hit that pause button. And I will say, right, we're underway for the second half. I'll just change the clock actually back to 45 minutes. There we go. Elliot Anderson is on.
He is on for Maxi. That is an interesting change. Wow. I know he hasn't done much in the first half, but I'm very, very surprised by that. Unless Maxi's picked up a knock, that is not great. Great news for Elliot Anderson, and we're going to get 45 minutes out of him, but that substitution has surprised me as Ayew and Aurier come back onto the pitch very, very late. I think Tierney actually had to go and chase them up there. Interesting that some people are actually saying it says live on their YouTube. It's bizarre, isn't it? Absolutely bizarre. But anyway, everybody knows that we're live. Everybody that will see it upcoming, they'll have clicked on it anyway and it's gone straight to the live stream. So it's not really affected us a lot. But I will be having words with YouTube. We are underway for the second half. How are the bloody lads? Let's get this game dealt with and get 3 points, please. Anthony, my daughter's doing fine. She's doing really well. Thank you for asking, mate. We start off immediately with the ball over the top for Murphy down to the byline. Murphy gets a cross in, but it's too close to Navas, and he gathers the ball. I don't think Murphy had, well, it was straight from the kickoff, and I don't think anybody, our striker, had time to get up there. Navas is complaining about the distance that Isak's away from him, putting him off with the goal kick, but he's quite entitled to do that. Headed away by Fabian Schär. Shelvey, he's completely sliced that ball. Isak goes up, wins the header. Longstaff tries to chase it down. It's in the air. Willock and Yates again, who've had a right tussle in the first half. Willock comes out on top with that, lays it across to Longstaff. Longstaff out to the right to Jacob Murphy. Murphy has overlap from Trippier. Trippier pulled back on the run, but finds him anyway. Nice little touch by Willock. Longstaff half asleep there. Ayew managed to bring the ball down to Gibbs-White, and here come Forrest. But Newcastle swarming, and no free kicks as a referee. Dennis is kicking off, but there was definitely no foul there. Here's Willock. Elliot Anderson was wide. Isak, I mean, that's a free kick. That's an awful tackle. Again, it's just reckless. But Tini again just says, let's get on with the game, guys. Schär goes out wide to Murphy. It's a good start to the second half from Newcastle. As we expected, that's not a great ball from Murphy for Bruno. And Forrest managed to get it clear. Long ball up. Schär leaves it for Botman. Botman this time puts a good amount of pressure on the pass, and it gets back to Nick Pope. Somebody's telling me clock, Paul. I have started the clock, Martin. The clock is ticking, matey. It's level with the game at the minute. Long ball played forward, looking for Willock, but Navas is going to get there first. Martin, I don't know what you're watching, but the clock is definitely ticking. Navas will go along with the goal kick for Forest. Out to the left-hand side, flicked on by Dennis. Botman back to Nick Pope. Pope will go long again. Looking for the run of Elliot Anderson. Anderson's done really well. And I think, Tini says no free kick. Anderson's done brilliantly to win that ball. And he's just stepping over a few times, trying to get the ball in the box. He finds Dan Byrne. Byrne turns. He's got Elliot Anderson in support. Anderson has Willock in support behind him. Here is Joe Willock now. Willock looking for a run from somebody. Bruno, again, just looking for somebody to make a run, but there isn't anybody. He finds Fabian Schär. Schär will go to the right-hand side for Trippier. Trippier's got Murphy now. Murphy down the line. Brilliant by Murphy. Gets the cross in. Right to the back post. And it's a shot from Anderson and a wonderful save from Navas. What a volley by Elliot Anderson. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. That was incredible. I mean, he hit that volley with absolute perfection because it dropped behind him. And, wow. Anthony says, clock bottom left, the clock, mate. What? There's nothing wrong with the clocks. That's the time of night it is in the bottom left. And then the clock on the scoreboard is ticking. I don't understand. But what a brilliant effort by Elliot Anderson. Short corner, Trippier plays it long. Longstaff's at the back post. It's headed away for another corner to Newcastle on the other side this time. Good pressure this from Newcastle. What a brilliant hit that was by Anderson, by the way. Made even better by the fact that, Isak jumped in front of him. Isak jumped in front of him, but he kept his eye on the ball. 9:07 in the UK. Yeah, 21:08. That's it's 21:08. 24-hour clock. Come on, guys. Jeez. Trippier's ball in. It's again headed away, but not brilliantly. It's just sliced across the goal. Newcastle claiming handball. The fans are going ballistic, and eventually the referee has given... What's he given here? Corner to Newcastle. It's gone out the other side. Trippier goes across again. We've got to take advantage of these corners, man. This has been the problem. We've had so many corners again, and we just don't look like scoring from them. Trippier from the other side now, coming up to 50 minutes. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Newcastle dominated the second half. That's a better corner, but a good header away on the 6-yard area. Comes back to Longstaff. He heads it back into the box. It's cleared again. Forrest trying to pressure Jacob Murphy. Murphy flicks one wide, looking for Willock. Willock will get there and keeps it in play. Great play by Joe Willock. Lays it back. Elliot Anderson now for Newcastle. Anderson on his right foot. Lays it into Bruno. Bruno back to Willock. Willock inside to Isak. Isak back to Willock. This is good stuff from Newcastle. Willock goes for the curler. And it's not far away. Good effort by Joe Willock. But a brilliant start to the second half from Newcastle United. Much better. You know, I said end of the second half. We there's goals there for Newcastle. A lot of goals for Newcastle. As we're seeing again, the pressure. How is that not a penalty for the pull on Elliot Anderson's shirt? Tell you what, that's an interesting one for me. Very, very interesting. Newcastle United just snapping at the heels of Forrest here. Ball over from Anderson. Hit with a little bit too much pace for Isak. But again, good pressing from the Swede. Forcing, he's forced the free kick. The Forest player, both of them go down holding the heads. I think Isak's a little worried about probably getting booked, but he's getting on with it. Both of them are getting up, actually, and shake hands, which is good to see. Well, I tell you what, definite penalty incident there, without a shadow of a doubt. Steve Cooper, bless him. He wasn't born with good looks, was he? But I tell you what, he's doing a good job at Forest. He really is. But we should be in front here. I'm very pleased with the second half start, without a doubt. We've gone at Forest straight away, looking to get this second goal to give us the lead. But Forest, well, they'll come at us certainly when they can, and they're doing that now. Brennan Johnson, good defending again from Big Dan Burn coming across. And there's 2 balls in play here. That can't be allowed to continue. That's going to be a throw in, which Serge Aurier will take for Nottingham Forest. Not really in any hurry. I suppose a point is good for Forest, to be honest, against the top 6 team. But here comes Yates. He gets to the byline. It's he couldn't get purchase on the cross, and it's gone out for a goal kick. Good job again from Newcastle, pressuring Yates, trying to get a cross in, and he fluffed it. Trippier now in the right back position, rolls a ball into... that's a fabulous first-time ball over from Willock to find... Elliot Anderson. Anderson turns. Sorry, it's Longstaff. Good ball into Isak. Isak across to... Willock couldn't control it. It goes under his foot and out for a throw-in. And Willock is furious with himself that he let that run under his foot. Just took his eye off the ball there. And unfortunately, it rolls out for a throw-in. But it's good stuff. Just forget it, Joe. Let's get on with the game here. Very, very exciting stuff, this by Newcastle at the start of the second half. Really, they've shown the desire to go and get another goal and really, dig in. It's back with Navas now. He's under pressure from Isak, but Navas launches the ball forward. Good bit of play by Forrest, but, I don't know where Brennan Johnson was trying to put that. It's just rolled straight back to Nick Pope and the pressure off again. Sophia says, I'm convinced Cooper is stoned. Wow. Okay. Cooper sinks a bucket before every game. Yeah, he does look like that, actually. It does look like he enjoys his life. Anyway, it's with Botman now for Newcastle United, bringing it out of the penalty area for Newcastle. Plays it left to Dan Burn. Burn now. He's got Botman back in support again. Sven Botman now will go across to Nick Pope. Pope will probably roll this out to Share, and indeed he does. Fabian Share, no rush, just plays it across again to the Dutchman. And Sven Botman brings it away, rolls it into Bruno. Bruno turns. He's got Willock. Willock plays it back to Byrne. Byrne back to Bruno. Bruno back to Botman. Just keep ball for Newcastle at the minute. Botman rolls it into Isak. Isak turns. He's lost the ball. Just one little turn too many there from Isak. And Shelvey's played it in now to Gibbs-White, who burst forward. Long cross looking for Dennis, but it's way over hit. And it's a throw in to Newcastle. Sorry, goal kick to Newcastle United. Again, I mean, Gibbs-White, got a lot of space there for Nottingham Forest, given the opportunity, but unfortunately for them, overhit it as Eddie Howe riles his troops from the sideline. The camera's focusing in on Jason Tyndall, not sure why. And then, please don't put Steve Cooper on the pitch. I mean, Howie, you go from Tyndall to Cooper, man. Jesus. Anyway, Botman brings the ball away for Newcastle United midway through his own half, rolls it back to Dan Byrne. Byrne has Elliot Anderson in support. Anderson back to Byrne. Newcastle quite happy just to play keep ball at the moment until they find the right time and place to fire that final ball in. Share goes long all the way up the field. It's not a great ball by Fabian Share, and it's cleared by Forrest. Good little flick on that by Ayew, because he's got Dennis now down the left-hand side in a bit of space. Dennis into the penalty area, and he will win a corner for Nottingham Forest off the deflection of Sean Longstaff. And again, just a poor ball there from Fabian Share put us in a lot of trouble, because Trippier had gone forward expecting a much better ball from Share, didn't get it. And then, of course, he was out of position, but good tracking back by Sean Longstaff. And I'm not sure Dennis was even trying to hit the goal, to be honest. It was a very weak effort, but he got the deflection and wins a corner. Again, just make sure, Yates has gone down injured here, so there's going to be a stoppage in play. Tom says most of our goals come from losing possession in the final third. Yeah. Rijau says Jason Tyndall's a top-looking fella. Well, opinions. You should be on 5 Live Sport commentary. Excellent. Thanks, Conrad. Stu says, come on, lads, keep your concentration. Newcastle might be happy to play keep ball. I am not, says Steve. Yeah, we just need a bit of urgency, I think. But I think Yates is going to have to come off here, which is good for us, really, because he's having a hell of a battle with Joe Willock, and he's put some very late tackles in on Joe. It seems to be Yates' right shoulder that he's holding. So I don't know whether he's dislocated his shoulder or something there. Ian Skinner says Cooper looks like a drunken Russian sailor. I've never seen many of them in my lifetime, to be honest. I've never seen a lot of drunken Russian sailors. I would love Brennan Johnson to get him in the summer, top grafter. What do you think, Paul? Yeah, Hazard, I agree. I mean, he's a very, very good player, but I think a lot of players are going to be looking at him without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, if Forrest go down, I think he'll definitely leave. But anyway, Yates has come off, and he has been replaced by Freuler, the number 23. But now Gibbs-White is going to take this corner for Forrest. Just a bit of a break in play there before a corner. So I hope we stay disciplined here as the corner comes in. Headed away by Isak. Shelvey comes in with a volley, and that's a handball by John Joe Shuley. The referee says no, and Shelvey volleys just wide. I initially thought Tini had blown for a handball there. I'm just seeing it again. No, it's off his shoulder, but it was a good 1.5 to 2 foot wide of Nick Pope's right-hand post. So still 1-1. We've played almost 15 minutes of the second half. Newcastle, pretty much as the first half began, really, on top of the game, playing it around quite nicely. Apart from that, Dan Burns just tried to roll up the line to Elliot Anderson and just played it out of play. They're the kind of mistakes we don't want to happen. Aurier with the throw-in for Nottingham Forest here. Throws it back, played forward. That's a good interception by Bruno. Bruno brings it away. He's fouled, and that's going to be another free kick. And finally, a yellow card for John Joe Shelvey. No, in fact, it's Gibbs-White. See, this is incredible. I think Gibbs-White, that's his first foul of the game, and he's getting a booking. I mean, it is a booking. He grabs his shirt. He throws him down to the floor. But, you know, this is what I mean about consistency with Paul Tini. He just hasn't got any. Trippier now goes down the line. Longstaff leaves it for Murphy. Murphy gets around that tackle really nicely, burst forward. He's got a brilliant run from Elliot Anderson, and Anderson slipped. Oh, he was in. He was through on goal, 1-on-1, and he slipped. That is so unlucky. Cut right across the back four, played in by Longstaff. He was in on goal, and he slipped. I thought when he went down that had he been tripped, but no. There was no calls for a foul, and oh my God. But he's making an impact, Anderson, definitely within the first few minutes of being on this for the second half. Here's Byrne to Bruno. Bruno, nice little turn, gets himself some space, and he's got men out wide. Jacob Murphy is one of these. Murphy cuts inside. Little pass into Bruno. Bruno, good save, Navas again. And another corner to Newcastle. And Navas is keeping Nottingham Forest in the game here. There's no doubt about it. The former Real Madrid goalkeeper. Brilliant save again. Wonderful hit by Bruno. I mean, it's a comfortable height, you have to say, from Navas, but it was hit with pace. And there you go. So again, Navas makes a save. Two very, very good saves in the opening, 15 minutes of this second half. Pressure is on. Dan Byrne just sharing a little jovial joke there with John Joe. In comes Trippier's corner. Too high for Fabian Schär. Bounces to Anderson on the edge of the box. And it's blasted over the bar. High, high, high over the bar. But there you go. Again, he's made more of an impact in his first 15 minutes. It's safe to say than Maxi did in 45. So there you go. George T, thank you for your £5 super chat. Nearly forgot about my donation. Hopefully there will be another one soon. Yeah, he is open. I've just seen Anderson slip again. My God, he was in on goal. He was in on goal. But he really has had a really strong start to the second half. He's everywhere at the minute, is Elliot Anderson. As Newcastle win a throw midway through the Forest half. Trippier will take it for Newcastle. Certainly taking his time over it. And decides to go all the way back to Fabian Schär. Schär goes across to Botman. Come on, bring it out, lads. Let's get them under pressure here. Fannying around at the back again. Byrne for Newcastle. Again, just back to Botman. Across to Fabian Schär. Schär brings it forward. He's going to pump it long. Looking for, again, the run of Anderson. He's causing problems, Elliot Anderson. He really is. He's causing a lot of problems because he's not staying left. He's coming inside and he's making the defenders think about where he's going to be. Here's Joe Willock, who needs to get into this second half. He's been very quiet. Anderson again for Newcastle. Cuts inside. Plays it back to Botman. Botman then brings it forward. It's a terrible ball by Botman. And Aurier intercepts. Botman's passing definitely not on key tonight. There's no doubt about that. And all the way back to Navas. He thumps it long looking for Ayew. Ayew's never going to beat Botman in the air. Schär now heads it long. And Jacob Murphy pelters after this. He's going to keep it in play. Plenty of room there. He's got an overlap from Sean Longstaff. He doesn't use him. And it deflects off Shelvey. And that's going to be Navas's ball. Longstaff is furious with Jacob Murphy. To be fair, Longstaff covered a lot of ground there. And it should have been played in. But he wasn't. Shelvey now for Newcastle. Longstaff closes him down. Shelvey goes wide to Johnson. Johnson on the halfway line now. Good tackle again. Elliot Anderson winning the ball back. Here's Bruno. Bruno, again, just bringing it forward. He's got a lot of support there. Isak's come deep to receive the ball. Plays it to Trippier. Trippier then goes back to Alexander Isak. Isak now. He's got Bruno inside of him. Isak, nice bit of play. Finds Sean Longstaff. Longstaff turns. Plays the left-footed ball into Bruno on the edge of the box now. Bruno thumps it into Isak. Isak across. It's cleared. It's still bouncing around. Isak's got it back. Can he get a ball into the box? He sees Anderson at the far post and scores! A brilliant header from Elliot Anderson! And Newcastle are ahead, and bloody deservedly so. Jabba dabba feckin' do! It's 2-1 to the Toon, and it's a brilliant goal. And Anderson wanted that more than the Forest defender. That is a fabulous goal. And he has looked brilliant since coming on. It was an excellent move from Newcastle, to be honest. Longstaff into Bruno. Bruno fizzes a ball into Isak. It bounces around in the box. Isak it comes back to. He sees Anderson with his arms up. He's well onside. Beautiful ball. And beats Aurier in the air. No problem at all. 2-1. How's your father? It's the Maggies on top again. What a header that is. I mean, for somebody who is, let's say, not very tall, it's a brilliant header. He rises way above Aurier. Wanted it more. And it's 2-1. Wow. I mean, wow. It's a brilliant header. He just wanted it so much more than Aurier did there. Aurier, none of... Oh, what are we looking at here? What's VAR looking at? Well, that's not offside. I'm sorry, it can't be offside. If they give this as offside, it is a disgrace. Comes off the Forest player. You can't give offside for that. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You cannot disallow this goal. He's miles onside, man. How long they taking just to disallow a Newcastle goal, man? They're looking at everything. They're looking at everything to disallow this goal. They've called Paul Tierney to the screen. Why? Oh, here we go. This is absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry, it's a disgrace. There's no lines being drawn there. This is guesswork. You can't give offside there. The Forest player kicks it to Sean Longstaff. There can't be an offside. Two Nottingham Forest players kick the ball before it hits Sean Longstaff. You cannot give offside. He's give offside. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, nah, piss off VAR. That's an absolute disgusting, disgraceful decision. I'm telling you now, if that's Manchester United, that's a fucking goal. Absolute fucking joke. How can Nottingham Forest players kick the ball twice and give offside? Holy shit, man. That's a horrible decision. I know for a fact, though, you Marcus Rashford, that's a goal. And we've seen it this season. We've seen it with Man United. Yes, it deflected off Longstaff, but Nottingham Forest players hit the ball twice. How can you give offside after they've touched the ball twice? Utter fucking farce. Eat my shit on a lollipop stick, you twats. Honestly, disgraceful. I'm sorry, but VAR is just screwed. It's the worst system in the world. Anyway, we're playing on now. Elliot Anderson's got Serge Aurier for company. Byrne goes in and wins the ball. Tierney then says foul and gives a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Aurier rolls about. I really want to punch that man in the middle of the face. I really do. He is a screw job. An absolute screw job. I'm not having anybody telling me that's offside. Like, I'm sorry. Bollocks. I've watched that over and over and over again there. No way. Anyway, John Joe Shelby with a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Pumps it long, looking for Ayew. Dennis is behind him. It bounces off Fabian Schär, and he hooks it away. John Joe Shelby now in the midway through Newcastle's half. Plays the ball over the top. It's a good ball looking for Brennan Johnson. Sorry for Aurier, and Aurier wins the corner. I mean, this will be a right kick in the teeth if Forest go and score. I'm sorry, but that was a beautiful goal from Elliot Anderson, and you're ruining a good goal. I mean, he did so well to get above Aurier and head it in the net. Disgusting refereeing, man. Forest players, they touch the ball twice, which ends the Newcastle play, because Forest win the ball, they screw it up and lose it, but then they punish us for offside. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Oh, God almighty. Gibbs White, please give me a break. Get up, you absolute wet end. 20 minutes to go. It's still 1-1. Should be 2-1 Newcastle. But hey-ho. Again, VAR. Rubbish. Murphy now. Lovely little ball into Bruno, who brings it over halfway line. Bruno's got men either side. Can't find Elliot Anderson. He does win it back, though, Anderson. Byrne flicks it over for Willock. Willock's got to get into this game. He's been anonymous second half. Long ball forward again. Trippier gets there ahead of, gets ahead of Dennis there. Now Murphy for Newcastle bringing it forward. He's got Trippier to the right of him. Longstaff. He rolls it into Trippier. Trippier, not the greatest ball across, but it's another corner to Newcastle United. By God, I tell you what, we so deserve to win this game, mate. Honestly, we so deserve to win this game. It's been absolutely shocking. Refereeing, VAR, the whole bullshit that's been going on during this game. Trippier's going to take another corner for Newcastle. Can we make one count? Would-be pharmacists don't celebrate the next goal that Toon score until the Prime Minister gives it. That's the way it is. Again, Trippier doesn't... I mean, it's nowhere near where the Newcastle guys are. Here's Isak. Oh, that's a lovely bit of play between Isak and Bruno. Isak, just roll it back to Anderson. Good football from Newcastle, though, again. Here's Willock. Nice bit of play by him. Fabian Schär rolls it into Bruno. Bruno, a little dummy. Elliot Anderson again. Anderson to the byline. Pulls it across. And Dan Byrne almost just needed to stick a leg out, and it was 2-1. Brilliant play from Elliot Anderson again. He's been absolute quality since he's come on at half-time. He has been brilliant. Anyway, the ball's back with Navas. And Forest will try bringing the ball away again. But Newcastle United, totally on top in this second half, deserve to be in front. I mean, we really do. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Newcastle fan. I'm saying it because I'm watching the game. I can see it. Terrible officiating, disgraceful VAR, and, but hopefully we'll get a goal. And we'll just win this game and go home and just forget about the shite that we've had to put up with. Brilliant close control by Elliot Anderson. Fizzes it across, and it's good defending. If that was a striker there instead of Dan Byrne, I think it would have been 2-1 Newcastle. But it was close. Forest have a throw in. Ronald says the Toon should be 4-1 up. I agree. I really do agree. We've had so much the better of this match. Let's just give us a free kick to Forest. Well, there you go. Absolute tosspot. Shelby's going to take the free kick for Nottingham Forest as we look at Eddie Howe in the background. In comes the free kick from Shelby. Flicked on. Johnson, the far side now. Johnson trying to skip past Willock. Can't. And Willock sees the ball out for a goal kick. Brilliant defending from Joe Willock. Need to see him more up the other end of the pitch. Pope takes a quick goal kick. Rolls it into Willock. Now Anderson. Anderson cuts inside. Gets past one, head up, gives it away though, tried to slide Bruno in, but lost the ball, and Gibbs-White will bring it forward now. Gibbs-White goes out wide to Brennan Johnson. Gibbs-White's gone down in a heap again, as he normally does. Paul Tini probably just said to him there, they're still playing, and he suddenly gets up. Clip forward to Ayew. Ayew now, close control. Ayew gets to the byline, trying to beat Dan Burn, can't. Longstaff is Anderson across there to help him as well, and it's cleared away by Sven Botman for Newcastle United. Bit of pressure here from Nottingham Forest, but so far we're defending well. In the second half, we're not letting them through, keeping the discipline, which is vital. But it is still 1-1. Elliot Anderson biting in for the tackle, wins it. Bruno now for Newcastle. Bruno, terrible ball. Shelvey now floats one over the top looking for Aurier. He's got Dan Burn for company. Burn does really well and sees the ball out for a goal kick. Aurier screaming for a free kick. You're not going to get it. Get up, you muppet. Very, very lucky man, considering he's beaten by somebody a lot smaller than him for the goal that never was. Unbelievable. Southampton 0. That can't be tonight's score, surely. No, they were March the 15th. Long ball by Fabian Schär over the top, looking for the run of Jacob Murphy. Murphy again going for the byline, but he can't keep it in, and it's a goal kick to Forest. Just think he took an extra touch there, Jacob Murphy, and he didn't really need to. He had an opportunity to get the cross in. But I tell you what, I still think this game is for us to win. I really genuinely do. And I'll tell you something, nobody could complain if we do win this game because we're so deserved to win it. But now Forrest coming forward with Dennis now on the left-hand side. Longstaff comes to meet him. He skips inside of Longstaff. Tries to turn away for Bruno and can't. And Newcastle bring the ball away. Dennis has gone down as if he got a bad tackle. It was never a bad tackle. Newcastle breaking now. Down the line. Jacob Murphy now for Newcastle. Dennis is still down. Murphy floats across in. Cleared away. And Dennis will get treatment now, I would imagine, for a fit. He's holding his toe. Pathetic. Get up, man. There's nothing the matter with him. I'm not sure where on earth he's complaining about a foul by Bruno. He takes the ball away, and then Dennis holds his foot. Oh, dear me. Delay here as Dennis gets treatment. Dr. Rocker says, I'm beginning to hate Forest with their shit tactics. As referees are now professionals, they get paid, says Barney. They should have to face the press and answer questions after games. I totally agree with that. And I think a lot's been said about that in the past when referees have made decisions. It defies logic. The period of play that Newcastle had was gone because Forest twice kicked the ball and made a total hash of it, and yet they get let off. I think Dennis is coming off here because it looks like Surridge is coming on for Nottingham Forest. Properly milking it. In fact, they're going to make two changes, Forest. I use the other one coming off. Do you know what? I just want to see us grab a winner. I mean, Ayew's got a hell of a black eye there, by the way, guys. he's had a right roughing up somewhere along the line. Dennis comes off. But Ayew is sporting some kind of lump on the side of his face. Williams is the other guy coming on. So Surridge and Williams on now. Fresh legs for Forest up front. But we have a throw-in level with the penalty area in Nottingham Forest's half. Trippier's ball in. Headed away again. That's going to be another throw into Newcastle United. We've got 11 minutes of normal time left. This second half has absolutely flown by. 11 minutes to go. Plus, of course, injury time. Still 1-1 at the City ground in a game which Newcastle have pretty much dominated and have been on the wrong end of some horrendous decisions yet again. Trippier trying to find someone to throw it. It gives it straight to Forrest. I mean, that's not great from Kieran Trippier. And now Surridge for Nottingham Forest. Looks wide for Brennan Johnson. A good interception by Dan Burn. Burn clips it forward for Elliot Anderson. Anderson holding up. In fact, is that Willock or Murphy? It's Joe Willock. He's done well. He's getting to the byline. Turns, spins, finds Sean Longstaff. Edge of the box. Longstaff across to Kieran Trippier. Trippier floats another ball to the back post. Anderson heads it across. It's bouncing around. Willock! Oh, what a sitter! In fact, it's Murphy. That is a horrible miss. An absolute horrible miss from Jacob Murphy. And again, a chance not taken. Lovely work by Anderson again. Gets the ball to the back post. It's an absolute horrific. I mean, he's volleyed. He's 6 yards out. And he's put it wide. I mean, he's actually put it wide. He hasn't even hit the target. Wow. This is so frustrating, man. Honestly, it's another one of them frustrating games of football that you just think, how are we not winning this game? Headed away by Sven Botman. He got one in the face there. And Sven Botman has stayed down, clutching his face. Saw one in the nose there. He's not very happy about that, is Botman. But there you go. Massive opportunity for Jacob Murphy. We're just seeing that again. I don't think there's much in that, to be fair. I would normally scream from the rooftops if I thought there was an elbow in there, but it wasn't. It was just a coming together. I mean, JP says, I'm tired of not finishing our chances. I mean, yes, I understand that, but we have finished them tonight. You know, we've been penalised by an absolute shambolic decision. We've hit the bar twice. It's just incredible. Gibbs White now driving forward for Forest. Comes loose. Here they come, but it's a terrible ball through. Nick Pope leaves it to go for a goal kick. We've got just over 8 minutes left of normal time in the second half. And in a game which, I mean, it beggars belief. It beggars belief. It's one of them that you get right pissed off at, to be honest. Longstaff's got himself into trouble here. Back to Cher. Cher up to Murphy. Murphy turns, brought down, free kick. Bruno will get on with it very quickly, but he's going to be brought back because the ball was still rolling. Here's Willock. Back to Botman now. As Newcastle start another attack, trying to find this winning goal. No more substitutions from Newcastle during the game. The only one was ASM coming off at half-time for Elliot Anderson, who's been absolutely fantastic in this second half. Scored a perfectly legitimate goal, ruled out by VAR for offside. Stinking decision. But we have to live with it, and we have to get on and try and win this game in what little time there is left of it. Cher for Newcastle brings it forward into Trippier. Trippier to Bruno. Bruno out wide to Sean Longstaff now. Longstaff looking for the run of Murphy. Plays it inside to Isak. Isak back to Trippier. Trippier now goes down the line to Longstaff. Longstaff again down for Murphy. Murphy, a lovely little back heel to Longstaff. Cuts inside. Isak! Oh, it's off the line, but it was going in. And Serge Aurier just happened to be in the right bloody place. Unreal stuff. So frustrating. Oh, and then Forrest win a free kick, man. Brilliant bit of play between Murphy and Longstaff. Wonderful play. Longstaff just lost his foot and managed to give it to Isak, who sort of slipped, but it was going in the corner. And Aurier just happened to be standing there and just controlled the ball and cleared it. Unreal, man. Absolutely unreal. Matt Ritchie's on the pitch, by the way. He's come on for Jacob Murphy. I'm not sure about that substitution. That's an interesting one. Anyway, play goes on. I take it, no, Richie stayed on the right-hand side, so he's still playing the inverted wingers. Botman heads it away. Trippier launches one. Caught very, very late again. This time by Williams, who pleads his innocence with the referee. Trippier's up. Just under 6 minutes left. It was very late again by Williams, but I'm sick of saying that in this game. I'm sick of saying about all these late tackles that are flying and we're getting absolutely bottled for them. It's ridiculous. Botman now. Good ball on by Elliot Anderson, looking for the run of Dan Burn, going down the left-hand side. Burn looking for the quick throw in to Anderson. Doesn't get it. Not much movement in front of him. Well, come on, lads. Somebody move. Does anybody want the bloody free throw in, man? Burn. He's lost it. He tried to play it into Isak and lost it. Newcastle win another throw in. Time running out. 5 minutes to go in normal time. Burn throws it all the way back to Sven Botman, who then goes across to Fabian Schär. Schär brings it up to the halfway line. Botman again offers support, but he goes inside to Willock. Willock back to Sven Botman now. Botman looks for that killer ball. Finds Dan Burn down the left-hand side. He's got to go back to Botman. Again, nowhere through for Newcastle at the minute. Botman brings it into Willock again. In fact, it's Isak looking to turn. He comes very deep for the ball, does Isak. Always looking very sprightly. Looks like he's going to get a full 90 minutes out of him today. Fabian Schär brings it forward, rolls it in. Now, Matt Ritchie plays it wide for Kieran Trippier. Ritchie goes on the overlap. Trippier inside to Bruno. Bruno got a bit of room to whip across in. Does one. Headed away again. Forrest now getting pegged back. There's no doubt about it. Botman. They need to keep the pressure on here, Newcastle. Trippier on the right-hand side. Rolls it through to Longstaff. Longstaff now looking for support. He's lost the ball, but wins it back. Trippier goes down the line to Matt Ritchie. Ritchie cuts back on his left foot into Longstaff. Back to Trippier. Trippier now. Can we get a ball into the box? He rolls it in. That's nice play. Ritchie's right foot cross. Bruno! It's blocked again! Holy haggis! And now Nottingham Forest on the break with Brennan Johnson. But great defending by Botman. Was he fouled there? No. Play goes on. Johnson! Save Nick Pope down to his right. Brilliant save with his foot. And play goes on again. Holy hell, man. Newcastle so close and Forest then so close. Isak now. He just can't get ahead of Navas. He did well to poke the ball past the defender, but Navas off his line to get the ball. And, well, he's hanging on to this because it will be a vital point for Nottingham Forest. But we should be winning this game. I'm sorry. We should. Shelvey again. A big slice from him, but Forest managed to clear the ball. It goes out for a throw into Newcastle United, though. Just seen that chance by Bruno again. Brilliant defending, actually. Threw himself in front of the ball. Made sure that his hands were nowhere near it. And then Dan Burn, beaten by Brennan Johnson. And then good save down to his right by Nick Pope. 2 goals could have been scored. And it could have really gone in the space of 30 seconds there. Jesus Christ. Just over 2 minutes of normal time left. Still 1-1 at the City Ground. Can we get a winner? Long ball is awful. And that's going to just drift behind for a Forest goal kick, which Navas, of course, terrible ball again by Botman. He's had a stinking game with his passing. Absolute stinking tonight. He's given the ball away numerous times. Hasn't been great. But I still can't believe that Elliot Anderson goal was just... that's going to take some getting over for a lot of Newcastle fans, I think. And a serious explanation is needed as to why that did not count. Throw into Nottingham Forest. Surridge will take. No, he leaves it. Shelvey now for Nottingham Forest. Miscontrolled it, which means he has to go back. And then they decide to thump it long again. Over the top. It's a good ball. Gibbs White took that really well, but Fabian Schär was alert to it, but he's given away a terrible pass. And a chance here for Brennan Johnson. He's gone in front of Botman. Ball in. Nick Pope gets his hand to it. And then he's given a free kick to Newcastle United. Oh, I'll tell you what, did that hit the hand of Botman? I tell you what, it was a close one, but he's given the foul. I mean, it's a foul on Nick Pope by Surridge. I'm not sure, they're just coming together there. But anyway, play goes on into the last minute of the game now, before we find out how much injury time we've got. Kieran Trippier is on the ball to Matt Ritchie. Ritchie, back to Trippier. Need to be a bit more urgency here. Ritchie and Trippier just seem to be playing 1-2s between themselves here. Trippier over the halfway line again. Oh, what on earth was he doing there, man? Total mix-up, and it goes out to play for a throw-in. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, look, there's no way anyone can blame Eddie Howe or the players in this game. I'm sorry, you can't, because I think we've played well. We've deserved to win this game. It's been, we've hit the bar twice. We've had some stinking VAR decision go against us, which I'm intrigued to find out why that goal was disallowed for offside. Absolute bull rot is what it is. But we've got 6 minutes to go, guys. 6 minutes of additional time. That is plenty time to get a goal. We saw it in the first half. But we throw it all the way back to Fabian Schär. He goes across to Botman again. Apparently Longstaff was offside in the... I'm not having it. I'm not having it, man. The play was null and void for Newcastle because Forest cleared the ball twice and made a mess of it. But he is Bruno. Elliot Anderson goes wide for Willock now. Willock, he's got an overlap, but he puts in a cross. Isak goes up for a header, and they're claiming handball here. And it's a penalty to Newcastle. He's given for the handball. And I think Aurier knows that he's made a right bet. No, it's not Aurier. I think the Forest defender knows. Oh, it's a clear handball. There's no doubt about it. Tierney's right. They're not going to overturn that one. No way. That's a penalty kick. That is blatant. He knows it as well. He knows it. Oh, don't say VAR going to overturn. They've got to give a clear and obvious error by the referee, right? And it isn't. It's a penalty kick. And he's booked as well. Who got booked? I think Fryer got booked for complaining there. Now, who is going to take this penalty? Kieran Trippier. Trippier's got a smile on his face. I mean, this is pressure, guys. This is pressure. And Navas is now booked. They're doing all they can. Forest... I mean, they can't complain. It's karma. As long as we score, it's karma. But it's blatantly a handball. There's no doubt about it. Jesus, this is a pressure penalty, man. This is a pressure penalty, guys. In fact, it's Isak who's going to take the penalty. I mean, Trippier was on the spot with the ball. He was going to take it, and then Isak's took it over. What a moment for the big Swede. Alexander Isak for Newcastle United in injury time at the City Ground. Up he steps. Scores! Brilliant penalty from Isak. Gimme. A striker from Sweden. Baby. Brilliant penalty. And boy, do we deserve that. Christ, do we deserve it? Brilliant penalty. Have some of that, Nottingham Forest. Deservedly so. Absolute deservedly so. We have been by far the better team. We've been robbed so many times in this game. And finally, something goes our way. And by the way, under pressure like that, what a penalty kick. Sends Navas the wrong way. Just brilliant penalty kick. Under all that pressure, guys. I mean, this guy... Kieran Dyer and all that can say what they want about Isak being a weird sire. He is a brilliant player. There's no doubt about it. And that's what a striker does. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. It's a clear handball. It's just a clear handball. Nobody can deny that. And look at him trying to cheat. Look at him trying to cheat. He holds his head. If that's not a definition of guilt, guys, then what the hell is? George, thanks for your fiver, mate. He couldn't look. Game's back underway. We've got less than 2 minutes of the original 6, but I think we're going to be playing a bit more than that. After the goal celebrations and the wait for the penalty to be taken, Isak in to make a tackle brilliantly. Long ball from Newcastle United, played in. From Nottingham Forest. Down by the corner flag. Trippier does really well to win the ball. And Newcastle clear it to Isak. Isak, brilliant skill. And again, that's shocking, man. Yellow card again. Absolute filth from Forest, which we've seen from minute 1 in this game. That Nottingham Forest have just been disgusted with the tackles. And that's Lottie's booking. Because Isak done him like a kipper. And he gets booked for it. He knew he was beaten. And to be fair, he took one for the team, I think, because he just dragged him back. Final 30 seconds of the original 6. Like I say, I think there'll be a couple of minutes more. But there's Bruno's magic hat in the crowd. Newcastle fans in full voice. And rightly they should be, because we've deserved this. We've deserved it. We've played really well. Some of the football's been great. Longstaff does really well to win the ball there. That trickles out, though, for a goal kick. The 6 minutes are up. The 6 minutes are up. Forest get on with it very quickly. Pump it long. It's high, hanging ball in the air. Bruno's underneath this and wins it for Newcastle. Willock now takes it on. He's got Elliot Anderson in support down the left. Roll it into him. Just head for the corner flag. It's a ridiculous foul by Aurier. And just unbelievable tackles going in. Willock just wasting time. Oh, and Aurier goes hard in on him. And the referee ridiculously waves play on. Mental stuff going on here. But we win a throw in. And we're certainly going to take our time about it. We're coming up to the 97th minute now of the 6 that were originally given. It's with Willock in the corner, wins the throw in brilliantly, right in front of those Newcastle fans, and gives a wave to G them up. He hasn't been great second half, Joe Willock, to be fair, but, you know, every man tonight has put a shift in. There's no doubt about that. And we are deserving this lead. Isak now by the byline again. Hangs on the ball and is fouled. Free kick. And Isak again geeing up the Maggies by the goal. He's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. He's been absolute quality tonight, Alexander Isak. He just, the running he's done, not just on the ball, but he's done so much off the ball, chasing, closing down, and then 2 goals. I mean, what can you say? And to score a penalty in the 93rd minute is quite incredible. The pressure that he was under with that penalty and the way he took it was just bloody marvellous. It really was. Sackwillian, you're an idiot. As if we believe what you're going to say. Get off the stream, you bellend. There it is, the full-time whistle. And Newcastle celebrate with the fans behind the goal. They have won by 2-1 at the City Ground. And deservedly so. Deservedly so. We were by far the better team. We dominated the second half. And we've got what we deserved at the end of it, despite VAR trying to ruin everything for us. The Premier League hate us. The football world hate us. But we fucking love it. And we have won brilliantly by 2-1. And in comes me old mucker, Billy Bob. Billy, incredible.
Do you know what? Tonight is a historical night because we've discovered a new hero. Alexander Isak was absolutely phenomenal tonight. I don't think a 10 out of 10 will do him justice when we give our marks on tomorrow. Honestly, don't. That's one of the best centre-forward performances I've seen from a Newcastle player ever. He was awesome.
you know what it is? The pressure he was under in the 3rd minute of injury time at the end of that game. And I mean, what made me laugh was, I don't know whether you saw on the replays, Billy, when he handballed it, he clutched his head. Did you see it? He went down clutching his face. And if that's not a sign of guilt, then what the hell is? You know what I mean? It was unbelievable.
It's the most blatant penalty you'd ever see. And do you know what? Kieran Trippier was fantastic because he took the ball first and he got all the shit from the goalkeeper and that, and he's like away from the pressure. And as soon as Navas was booked, he handed the ball to him. It was brilliant captaincy.
He sacked the ball. Tremendous shithousery, that. Brilliant to see. But look, I mean, that disallowed goal, Billy, I don't know what you make of it, but I mean, they looked like they looked at every angle possible to just disallow the goal. They did not get... I don't know how it's disallowed, Billy.
That is the first time I've ever seen an offside go to the screen. I've never seen it before. As soon as the Forest player touches the ball, then, as far as I'm concerned, Longstaff's active again. And 2 Forest players touched the ball before Longstaff touched it. So, in my opinion, it was an absolute shocking decision and another corrupt VAR decision that we've had to go against us. But justice was done in the end. I mean, if Paul Tierney hadn't given that penalty, I think he'd have been lynched up by his neck on the Gallagate, because it was a shocking referee decision. But in the end,
it didn't even go to VAR, did it? Because there's no way VAR could have overruled that as a clear and obvious error by the referee. They just couldn't. George, thank you for another £10, mate. Thank you very much. Great game, nerve-wracking at times, but we got what we deserved. Toon. I mean, like you say, Billy, the passage of play, Forest, the Newcastle attack becomes null and void when Forest clear the ball. Now, Forest clear the ball and make a complete hash of it twice, and then we score a wonderful goal. Elliot Anderson, by the way, magical tonight.
Game changer. Absolute game changer. Superb. Tonight,
such a wonderful goal like that it really... It's not fair, is it? It's just not.
It's not. I mean, Longstaff wasn't in an offside position. Had the ball gone direct to him, then you could understand. You could understand being disallowed. But once Felipe Luis clears it, and then it hits, I think it's Loddy on the far side, on the near side. Sorry, that's two Forest players have touched before he gets to Longstaff. He can't be active. Remember the goal Cambridge scored against us last year when the bloke was stood in offside position. As soon as the Newcastle player touched it, he becomes onside. Salah against Wolves earlier in the season, same thing again. Not disallowed.
But Billy, I guarantee you, if that was Marcus Rashford, that's a goal for Man United. I don't care what anybody says. They would just look at it and say, Man United's passage of play ended when Forest cleared the ball. It just so happens that they cleared it to a Newcastle player, which is just ridiculous. But I guarantee if it was Liverpool, Man United, Man City, that goal stands. I don't care what anybody tells me. Mark Mullins, thank you very much for your £10. He says, get the Fuki in. Come on, the Toon. And just for your commentary, and that was no way offside as the Forest defender played the ball against. Goal should have stood. Ian Fleming, thanks for a £5 super chat. He says, deserved win, guys. Bit nervous, though, till the end. But look, we played well tonight, Billy. You know, that's the thing. Really, and I mean, I saw idiots again commenting, saying, Eddie Howe this when it was 1-1. Why? You know, he didn't do anything wrong, Eddie Howe. He yanked off Maxi because he was terrible in the first half. Elliot Anderson, fully justified substitution, should have put us 2-1 up, disallowed through his shocking decision.
Yeah.
We hit the bar twice. We played really well. Some of the football was excellent. And we dominated the second half.
It was a great away performance, wasn't it? I mean, like you say, we've dominated the game from minute 1 virtually to minute 90, apart from a 10-minute span in the first half where they scored a mistake, wasn't a goal of their own making. And the rest of the game, we've dominated it. And on another day, we could have won that game 5 or 6-1. We really could. We were outstanding. Yeah,
and Nick Pope again. I mean, look, he's had his critics recently, but Brennan Johnson breaking away when we could have scored at the other end. They come up the other end. He hits a low shot to Nick Pope's right, but we've seen Pope do that a lot of times this season. Yeah. David De Gea does it a lot, of course. Goes with your feet first, and he gets a good foot on the ball and makes a good save. That could have turned the game again in Forest's favour, going 2-1 up. We could have been sunk then.
We could have. I mean, Dan Burn was a bit unlucky there. I thought he did well to get the ball off what's his face? Can't remember his name, Johnson. And the ball ricocheted back to his feet again. It was another one of those ricochets that didn't go our way. But Pope was alive and got his big foot in the way. And that was the only shot they had taken off, I think. I can't remember another one.
And let's not forget, Billy, I think we should have had a penalty earlier on when Elliot Anderson had his shirt pulled off his back again. I mean, that happened to Longstaff at Wolves as well, and it didn't get given. And then the same happens again. Why are VAR not saying to Paul Tini, you need to see this on the monitor because it's a clear? I mean, it rips his shirt off.
It seems to me like shirt pulls in the area are a penalty for every other team apart from Newcastle United. I think that's the third or fourth one this season that we've had an obvious shirt pull and not been penalised. It's not even, they're not even hiding it anymore, Paul. It's blatant. The offside tonight, the shirt pull, the amount of goals we've had disallowed that shouldn't have been, the amount of penalties we should have had, we haven't had. They're not even trying to hide it. They don't want us in the Champions League. They want
they hate it. They absolutely hate it. And like I said at the end, Billy, the Premier League hate us, the football world hate us now, but we love it. And we will continually deny these people, by just keep on going. We don't give up. Dan Kane says, does Pope remind you of a hockey goaltender at times, Paul? He does, but he's very, he doesn't have to use his hands. He'll go with his feet if he feels he can make a save with his feet rather than diving and letting the ball under him. Then that's fine by me. He got a good foot on it, cleared the ball as well. You'll love this one, Billy. Arturo, €20 super chat. Thank you, mate. He says, I went into the street in my underpants to celebrate the goal. Vamos! Vamos, Arturo. Definitely.
That disallowed goal, by the way. Isaac's bit of play there when he got off the floor and then managed to dig out a fantastic cross. It was a phenomenal bit of play. Yeah. The lad's an absolute genius. I mean, obviously, I've criticised him, not thinking he's not going to be the be-all and end-all. God, that guy's got something. I've changed my mind. It's changed my mind in 90 minutes.
The big thing is we got 90 minutes out of him tonight, or 97, 98, whatever it was.
And he looked fresh for the whole of it as well.
He ran his looked like off. He was going. Yeah. Ran, especially the last injury time, he was all over the place again. Yeah. But like I said in the first half, he was closing down a lot. He didn't see a lot of the ball in the first half, but what he did do was he was closing down very quickly, sprinting in on what's the keeper? Navas, and made him play it quite quickly. And a few times he clipped the ball towards Aurier, but he overhit it and it was for throw-ins. So I think, we need to look at that side of his game as well, which was just fabulous.
Won a few aerial duels again as well. Won a few aerial duels. I mean, the lad's developing in front of our very eyes. And he's gone from someone I didn't think could do that into someone I think is going to be a special superstar for us.
And of course, he gets 2 weeks off now. Oh no, he doesn't because he's off for Sweden. But it's good for him to get game time. He'll get game time for Sweden, hopefully injury free. I mean, that's always a risk when they're going into national duty, but we'll see.
They've called Ibrahimovic up again, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah, 42.
Is he playing for somebody at the minute?
He's at Milan still, isn't he?
Oh, is he? Jesus. Richard Rafferty, thank you for your £10 super chat. He says, good result. Eddie for Prime Minister. I don't want to go to be Prime Minister. He's our manager. So there you go. Definitely not. Just look, we're buzzing. And I think we deserve to be buzzing because, like I say, from the start of that second half, we just completely dominated. Longstaff, whatever people say about Sean Longstaff, he lost the ball a couple of times tonight, but he was everywhere on that pitch again. He was trying to create attacks. He was back defending. He's just got an engine on him, and he played a massive part in that win tonight, Billy.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding, Longstaff. I thought the whole of the midfield were even Willock in his phases of play. He had phases when he was in the game and phases when he was out of it.
But I thought he was quiet second half, but he still
came into it when it mattered. When it mattered, he came into it, and he's a special player. And it was a special performance, to be honest. Maxi aside, I think was probably injured. I think that's why he went off. I don't think he was pulled off because of his play. I think he was injured early in the second half. First half, sorry. He was limping for the last 10, 15 minutes of it. Yeah, took a bit of a. But I don't think he'll play next game anyway. I think Anderson's played himself in now.
He wasn't that good before he got injured. If that's the case, Billy.
No, he wasn't.
And look, I'm not gonna hate on Maxi. It's he just didn't get into the game, and I thought it was a big opportunity for Maxi, like going against Serge Aurier, because I don't rate Aurier as a defender at all. I think he's garbage, and I think Elliot Anderson proved that in the second half. He had him on toast, and then for the goal that wasn't that header, he completely wanted that more than Aurier, and it's just I'm gutted for him. But to be fair, you saw the cameras on Elliot Anderson after the goal was disallowed, and he was geeing the players up, saying, "Come on, come on." He'd have been gutted inside, but he knew there was still time left to get a winning goal. Arturo, thank you for another €10. He says, "Murphy is class, Paul. Has to start from now on." listen, the bottom line is, like Billy said, Anderson's played himself in with a good chance. These players that have been called upon are doing their chances of staying in the side no harm at all. And I think that's what Eddie Howe will want. He'll want to make sure that these players are all on the same wavelength and they're all wanting to be in the team. And, you know, Elliot Anderson was absolutely superb. And he could have been in another time, Billy, when Longstaff flicked it through to him and he slipped. He was through on goal.
He was, yeah.
And he was onside as well because I saw the replay.
He's a real clever footballer. He runs off the ball are phenomenal for such a young lad. But it's good that these young, you know, these so-called reserves or young lads or whatever, it's a crucial part of the season and they're putting their hands up and, you know, we're getting results on the back of not our full-strength side. It's brilliant. Yeah. I can't wait to go to Man United in 2 weeks now. I really can't.
Oh,
I really can't.
Really buzzing for that. And I don't think Man United will be looking forward to coming to St James's, to be honest, but let's just hope we go at them. Billy, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you over the weekend when we do the review, my friend. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
So there you go. That was Billy's thoughts on the game. And yeah, keep an eye on the channel over the weekend, guys, because obviously we will be doing a review at some point, whether that be tomorrow or Sunday. We normally do it on Sunday. You know, let's just enjoy this weekend, guys. This is what we wanted. We wanted to win the game. We wanted to go into the, go into the weekend smiling, into the international break, knowing that we've got these 6 points from the Wolves game and the Forest game that we really, really wanted. We are up there again, challenging for that top 4 spot, and nobody can say we aren't. We are up there challenging now, and all I would say is bring on Manchester United, because that is going to be an absolute cracker. Yeah, Stu's gutted there's an international break now, but I think we have to look at it a different way, Stu, and say, right, well, yeah, there's an international break. However, you know, it gives our squad time to recover. Our squad, they're going away for warm weather training and get fit again. It'll do the guys that are injured at the moment, the power of good. So we have to try and maybe switch it up and look at the positive side of the international break this time, even though it's frustrating. But I think, you know, if you're Eddie Howe, you probably welcome the international break now to get your players all fit, fresh, ready for the final push for the rest of the season. So it's very exciting. We have a big opportunity now to go on and do some really good things this season. We've made a cup final. We have an awfully good chance of staying up there fighting for the top 4, which we are going to do. We will fight all the way. And, you know, that is a given under Eddie Howe. We will not give up. Forest tried to knock us off our game tonight. They tried to be physical, which you can understand. You know, they don't have the quality on the pitch that we do, so they will get stuck in. And, you know, that's just a given. But, you know, credit to the lads that didn't give up. Heads could have dropped when we got that goal disallowed because, Jesus Christ, man, the world's against us. Ridiculous decision, but we kept going. We got the penalty, and our brilliant striker from Sweden was there to just stay so calm after the bit of shithousery from Kieran Trippier, which you have to love. You know, just awesome. And then, of course, you know, brilliant. Isak stepping up and just tucking it in the back of the onion bag and sending us into raptures. So there you go. We have won by 2-1 at the City Ground. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to every super chatter tonight. You've been so generous again. Thank you very, very much. Thank you again to the new subscribers as well. Welcome to the channel, guys. Up to 17,816, which is, we're almost at 18,000, guys. Share the channel. Pass it around as many as your friends and family as you can. And hopefully we'll get to that 18,000 sooner rather than later. Lots of shows to come up over the international break. We won't leave you without your Newcastle United content. We'll always be here over the international break with any news and regular shows, transfer shows, etc. But there you go. Mods, you've been absolutely fabulous tonight. Thank you so much for your help in the chat. But thank you to each and every one of you for watching. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing the match with me tonight. Well, it means you go into the weekend in very, very good spirits, doesn't it? So thank you very much for watching, guys. Keep an eye out on the channel for obviously when we do the match review. And, of course, those all-important player ratings. But mainly, have a wonderful weekend, guys. And we'll see you very soon. Good night.